Happy New Week. It is Monday, the 9th of June. Welcome to TDA, the day after. Your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. As always, you're hosted by lovely, amazing people. I am one of them, my own royalty.
It's your girl, Just Jean, representing the Black Queens and the fitness scene. How you mean?
That is right. And of course, Brent is also here.
Good morning, party people. How was your weekends? Both of you must have had a fantastic go at it.
Go at what?
Yours was better than mine.
I slept because I was tired.
After coming back from a fantastic...
Yes, I was in Doha last week. It was so... I've never seen a place cleaner. I don't think there's anywhere else in the world that's actually cleaner and just so nice and in just order. Like, I think, obviously, Muslim countries, I'm saying Arabic countries, have like a bad rep, right? There's just a lot of stereotypes and a lot of like Islamophobia through the years and stuff. It was so much fun. I can't wait to go back. It was nice. It was really nice. It was really lovely. The people are so nice. And like they care about their people and they care about their country and they care how other people experience their country. Like, do you get what I mean? And I learned so much. I've always said when holidays, I'm not really a tourist babe. Yes. I am now. Because I really enjoyed learning about their country and like seeing places and seeing things and buildings and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start making, when I go on holidays now, I will be doing that.
Amazing.
My next one should be Ghana, hopefully. So I'll be doing that in Ghana too. But yeah, it was fun. It was really nice. It was a lovely, lovely time. It was just, I love a holiday, man. Gosh.
When are you going to Ghana?
Summer, August, God willing. So I had a lovely time, man.
Have you been before? I feel like you.
No, I haven't, you know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't, no. I've got Ghanaian family, but I've never been.
All right, so I want to spend a little time with you and with Gina. However, we don't have that time just yet. So what I would like you to do, please, if it's possible, can you just run through all the headlines?
Of course I can.
And then, basically, get me? Yeah.
Hella clicking.
All right. Thank you. Let me just press the thingy.
So what?
Okay, I don't get that reference.
What thingy?
No, he knows what I'm talking about.
What?
You keep mumbling something.
I have slides here, right? Or scenes.
I know what. No. Who's T.S. Madison?
Oh, the clip.
It's
you know, Nene's got her. Yeah,
reality TV stuff.
Because because you have since I've been
T.S. is not my favorite. First of all, Nene Leakes is my favorite reality TV star. So T.S. Madison was a Nene show, and then Nene is asking her. Nene's basically trying to find out, does she date? Because T.S. Madison's a trans woman. So she said, do you date women? Do you date gay men or not? So then Nene's having a hard time understanding her. She's like, yeah, but any man that's essentially she's trying to say that any man that dates you isn't straight. So what are they? And T.S. is like, they are like, and she's like, no, but are they bi? And she's like, well, they could be pan. I don't know what pansexual is actually, but they could be pan or whatever. So that's what the conversation was. And then she was like, yeah, but you used to go your thing. And she was like, yeah, I don't hide it. She's like, you don't? She's like, no, I don't hide it. And then she was like, she said she's dated men who would also date Nene who don't play with her thing. And I said, that's what I was playing that clip.
Rattled.
And then it was interesting.
So I came in today and I heard her singing some song. The balls below, the balls below, the balls below.
Who was singing?
What?
You're an egg. Do you know why you're an egg? Because I was actually singing a Christian song when I walked in here. I was singing "You Make a Way" by Chandler Moore. Okay,
that was a quick one.
Don't lie on my name.
That was a quick one.
How can you lie so quick like that?
I didn't have a clue what she was telling me.
You came with
about.
lyrics, you know.
The thing is, I had it.
Nah, what the hell?
How did you think of the song?
He thought of a song, lyrics, beat, everything.
Song. I just need to get it out with the 2D thing.
You're going to hell. You are going to hell. I tell you all the time. It's a joke.
You're actually it's a joke.
The thing is, I wanted to say at the top, but you were going and telling me the whole bloody
story.
Context. What?
You're thinking,
so you give me more time to think of a melody. You understand? God damn it. But that's the context.
You're an egg.
Got it. Thank you.
So you keep saying T.S. Madison.
Thank you.
All right. So first headlines: immigration authorities and demonstrators have they've clashed for 3 days in the LA area, with unrest beginning Friday after dozens of people were detained by federal immigration agents across different locations. California Governor Gavin Newsom called Trump on Friday and they spoke for approximately 40 minutes, according to the governor's office. Trump has claimed, without evidence, that he was forced to step in because California Democratic officials, including Newsom, were incapable of stopping the protests themselves. The LA Police Department, LAPD, began making arrests after declaring several protests unlawful assemblies and authorizing the use of less lethal munitions. CNN field crews have witnessed mounted officers working to disperse demonstrators as well as officers striking and pushing protesters and deploying flashbangs and tear gas into the crowd. At least 2 Waymo, I think that's what it says, self-driving cars have been set on fire. Since then, about 300 National Guardsmen have been deployed at 3 locations around LA, the California governor's office said this morning. It follows a presidential memorandum signed by President Donald Trump calling up 2,000 National Guardsmen to protect federal personnel and property at protests sparked by immigration raids. The first time a president has called in the National Guard without the state's request or consent since 1965. And 500 active duty Marines are prepared to deploy, Northcom said. Live updates are still ongoing. Next headline. The Home Secretary Yvette Cooper is the last minister yet to agree a funding deal with the Treasury before Wednesday's spending review, BBC News understands. Ministers have been locked in talks with Chancellor Rachel Reeves and her team ahead of the major financial statement, which sets budgets for government departments covering the next few years. Housing Secretary Angela Rayner reached a settlement on Sunday evening after progress in negotiations, the BBC has learned, but Cooper is holding out in talks also involving Number 10. Police budgets are expected to get a real terms increase in each of the next 3 years, but negotiations are ongoing about the wider Home Office budget. Early on Sunday, Technology Secretary Peter Kyle said police needed to do their bit towards reforming public services. Kyle told the BBC's Sunday with Laura Quesenberg that every part of society was struggling and that the Chancellor was facing pressure from all departments for additional funding. He said the review would boost spending for schools and scientific research, but declined to rule out a squeeze on policing. Next one. Reform UK's deputy leader Richard Tice has insisted the party knows exactly what it is doing following a 48 hours in which its chairman Zaya Yousaf resigned before returning in a different role. On Thursday, Yousaf dramatically quit, saying in a social media post that trying to get the party elected was not a good use of my time. However, 2 days later, he said he will be coming back to lead the party's unit tasked with identifying spending cuts at councils, which is inspired by the US Department of Government Efficiency. Tice told the BBC Sunday with Laura Quesenberg that chairing the party was a tough, brutal job, and Yousaf was essentially exhausted after 11 months in the role. Yousaf announced his initial decision to quit in a social media post, but did not expand on his reasons for leaving. Announcing his decision to return to the party on Saturday, Yousaf said his initial resignation was born of exhaustion following 11 months of hard work and exhaustion. Party leader Nigel Farage said Yousaf had been subject to pretty vile abuse, adding he overreacted to it and he admits himself it was a mistake. The party is expected to appoint a new chairman and deputy chairman next week. Kemi Badenoch has said she will not speak to women wearing burqas in her constituency surgery and argued that employers should be able to ban their staff from wearing face coverings. The Conservative leader gave her views after the newest Reform MP, Sarah Pochin, triggered a debate over the subject by pressing Keir Starmer on whether he would follow the lead of other European countries such as France in banning the burqa. Badenoch said in an interview with the Sunday Telegraph that there were other things that were more insidious, such as Sharia courts, and that women should be able to wear what they like. But she said that if people came to her constituency surgery wearing face coverings, whether they were balaclavas or burqas, she asked that they remove them. She also said employers should be able to stop their staff wearing burqas if they wanted to. Her remarks caused consternation among some Muslims. Afzal Khan, the Labour MP and vice chair of all-party parliamentary group on British Muslims, said trying to outflank Reform UK on immigration or culture wars doesn't just risk alienating moderate voters, it erodes trust in politics itself. Reform's decision to raise the issue in Parliament and Nigel Farage's call for a debate on the burqa prompted the party's chair, Zaya Youssef, to resign last week. He has since returned, however, saying he was not upset by the idea of banning burqa, but had been exhausted and demoralised by racist abuse against him as a prominent Muslim politician. Next headline. Activists say Israeli troops have boarded a yacht trying to bring humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip in defiance of an Israeli naval blockade. Connection has been lost on the Madeleine, the Freedom, on the FFC, child. Y'all can Google that, what that means. Connection has been lost on the FFC campaign group, said on the Telegram app. It posted a photo showing people in life jackets sitting with their hands up. Appearing to confirm that the ship had been boarded, Israel's foreign ministry said the yacht was safely making its way to the shores of Israel and its passengers were expected to return to their home countries. Climate activist Greta Thunberg is among those aboard the vessel, which is reported to be off the Egyptian coast. Israel says its blockade is necessary to prevent weapons from reaching Hamas militants in Gaza. After reporting that the yacht had been boarded, the FFC posted short pre-recorded videos of some of the activists, including Thunberg. In the footage, activists say, "If you see this video, we have been intercepted and kidnapped by the Israeli military or forces supporting Israel." The FFC earlier said the vessel, which left Italy's island of Sicily on Friday, was carrying humanitarian aid and had been prepared for the possibility of an Israeli attack. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz had warned that the yacht should turn back and that Israel would act against any attempts to breach the blockade. Next headline, trigger warning. So 2 men have been charged with murder after an alleged hit and run in which a 16-year-old boy was killed in Sheffield. Zulkarnain Ahmed, age 20, and Aman Ahmed, age 26, both of Lock Drive, were also charged with 3 counts of attempted murder in relation to incidents involving 3 cyclists earlier that day. A grey Audi is believed to have driven towards 3 electric bicycles on Wednesday, colliding with one of the riders, South Yorkshire Police said. The 18-year-old man riding the electric bike struck by the car suffered serious injuries and remains in hospital, police said on Saturday, adding that his injuries are not thought to be life-threatening. As the car continued after the crash, it then collided with a 16-year-old Abdullah Yasser Abdullah al-Yazidi, who had recently arrived in the UK from Yemen seeking a better future. The teenager, who according to police had been walking along Stanleyforth Road in Dunwell area of Sheffield on Wednesday afternoon, when he was hit by the car, later died in hospital. The driver of the Audi failed to stop at the scene, police said, with charges having now been brought against Ahmed and Ahmed. They will appear before Sheffield Magistrates Courts today, Monday. Next one, trigger warning the next 3, right? A body has been found by police in the search for a Colombian woman who disappeared after leaving her East London home. Yajaira Castro Mendez, who's age 46, was reported missing to the Metropolitan Police on May 31st, having left her home in Ilford on the morning of May 29th. Her family has been told about the discovery of the body, which was found during searches in Hampshire's Boulderwood area on Saturday, but formal identification has yet to be made. The police said a man who was known to Miss Castro Mendez appeared in court on Friday, charged with her murder, and was remanded in custody. Her disappearance was initially treated as a missing person investigation led by local officers. The investigation was then transferred to the Met's Specialist Crime Command on June the 5th, after a range of extensive further inquiries suggested she had come to harm. Detective Inspector J. Gregory, who was leading the investigation, said, "This is a very sad development in the investigation, and our thoughts are very much with Yajaria's family and friends at this incredibly difficult time. We continue to appeal to anyone with information that could assist the investigation to please come forward." Next headline, trigger warning on this as well. A man has died after falling from the Cube, a landmark building in Birmingham. West Midlands police were called to the scene at the Wolfside Street building at 6:13 p.m. on Saturday. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. In a statement, the force said the man's family are aware and they are being supported by officers. The man's death is not being treated as suspicious. A statement issued on the building's Facebook page late on Saturday, said earlier today, a serious incident occurred at the Cube Birmingham. Emergency services attended the scene and continue to carry out a full investigation. Access to the building has now been partially restored. Residents are permitted to return to their homes. However, all commercial venues within the Cube remain temporarily closed as a precaution and out of respect while inquiries continue. We are fully cooperating with the authorities and we will continue to follow their guidance. Last headline for today. Thank God. A Colombian presidential candidate remains in intensive care after he was shot 3 times, twice in the head. Twice in the head at a campaign event in the capital, Bogota. Miguel Uribe Torbay, who's age 39, is a 39-year-old senator, was attacked while addressing supporters in a park on Saturday. Police arrested a 15-year-old suspect at the scene, the Attorney General's office said. Uribe's wife, Maria Claudia Tarazona, called on the nation to pray for his survival, saying Miguel is currently fighting for his life. Let us ask God to guide the hands of the doctors who are treating him. Uribe's Centro Democratico Party condemned the attack, calling it a threat to democracy and freedom in Colombia. Footage shared online appears to show the moment when he was shot in the head mid-speech, prompting those gathered to flee in panic. He was airlifted to the Santa Fe Foundation Hospital, where supporters gathered to hold a vigil. Uribe was rushed into surgery while in a critical condition, Bogota Mayor Carlos Fernando Galan said late on Saturday night. The hospital said on Sunday morning that Uribe had undergone procedures to his head and left thigh before being taken to be stabilized in intensive care. He remains in an extremely serious condition, it added. The 15-year-old suspect was shot in the leg as police and security officers pursued him following the attack, according to local media. He was arrested carrying a 9mm Glock-type firearm, a statement from the Attorney General's office said. An investigation is underway.
Thank you very much,
Lord.
Esther. You have been an absolute diamond.
Thank you.
And I hope you have a fantastic day.
I hope you all have a fantastic day too.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you very much.
All
Bye,
right.
y'all.
Let's move into the topic of the day.
Are you gonna give
Yes.
me something? Because
Go over there.
use mine? You can keep it.
oh yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. No, I can't move to move.
Let me take the password off.
Is it? You don't, because she's not going to use it for anything at all, other than just looking at it.
Okay, so you're going to lead topic of the day.
Yeah, it's just questions.
Okay.
So I'll just ask her the questions. Just as
No,
long as
ask
she's
for
on
a
camera.
friend.
Huh?
He's not asking for a friend.
No. All right. Thank you very much, Esther. And later. All right. So Gina,
Hello.
you're gluing, right? Obviously, it's always nice to see you on a Monday morning. Cool. But you celebrated something fantastic over the weekend.
Please.
A new day, a new dawn, all that kind of lovely stuff.
Please, it was a regular.
You're starting new
regular-
patterns already, you know?
Oh, whatever, man.
Nobody knows, but you ain't gonna know. Don't move your head too tough.
You're actually annoying.
How was your birthday, and do you feel any different at all?
No, it was alright. Same old.
You didn't celebrate it?
Not really.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. What are you thankful for this past year?
I am thankful for life.
Yeah, that's always something good to be thankful for, to be honest.
Yeah.
Has it been a prosperous year for you?
I'm really thankful for Olivia. My cat.
Oh,
I love her.
you've named her.
I named her from the jump.
She's gross. Even before you received it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew she was always going to be called Olivia.
Serious?
Yeah.
Because you knew what you were going to be getting.
Yeah, and because of her colour.
Yeah,
No, duh. I
Yeah.
know not everyone gets it, but yeah.
yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, how has she changed your life?
I think, do you know what I think it is? I think because I think she's a tangible reminder of how hard I've worked. So I feel like I've been building for years, innit? So, but it's not, you can't touch it, you can't see it. It's just, do you know what I mean? So it's nice to have something physical that's like a reminder of like the fruits of your labor.
Have you had any close encounters? Olivia?
No. Thank you, Jesus. No, I haven't, you know. No. I got a Bible on my dashboard. So
Okay.
no weapon formed against me or her shall prosper.
Interesting. What denomination do you think Olivia's like part of?
Denomination.
Well, you've named her, right? You've also christened her with protection. So surely she has to do other things other than just claim she's a Christian.
Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh,
I'm joking.
What did she do on Saturdays?
No, I'm joking.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, so obviously you're suggesting that it was just another day for you, a little marker in life.
Yeah.
Just noted it and you just continued moving. Yeah. Is this year going to be a good year for you?
I hope so.
Is that what Olivia told you?
No, it's a weird one, you know? I feel like I'm not going to have expectations here, but like, I'm just very, I just don't want to get my hopes up. I'm just indifferent. I'm just here.
What's your relationship with expectations and expectations placed on other people? Do you participate in that particular action?
No, I think when I was younger, I used to live by no expectations, no disappointments. And then I changed. And now I'm like, nope, we are going back to that.
Why?
Because you just can't get disappointed. Do you get what I mean? I think one thing I have really learned is to not expect myself from everybody else. That's been a very big, like, thing that I currently live by.
Okay, fair. And when people disappoint you in this particular new stage in your life, you've gone back to you having expectations placed on people. Like, how do you manage that?
How do I manage now if people disappoint me?
Because you said you've gone back to that.
I've gone back to not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't expect
anything from anybody.
No. It's like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Not even the people closest to you?
Like, it's so weird, because now it's like, I just retreat. I'm not even going to address it. I'm not going to pull you up on it. I'm just going to
So does that mean that people around you, close to you, are still disappointing you in some form or fashion?
I don't think it's intentional. We're humans, innit? Do you get what I mean? So, I don't...
You've said that like I'm supposed to just know what you're talking about.
I don't think those close to me intentionally go out of their way to like hurt me, disappoint me or whatever.
Yeah.
But no one's perfect, innit? So things can happen.
Yeah. The same people that may have disappointed you, in other walks of life, do they claim to move with intent?
I don't think it's a claim.
Shouldn't we expect the people who we choose to be in our life be held to some sort of measure?
Yes, I agree. I think yes.
And it shouldn't be a case where we just let them like just have a blight and a blight and a blight and a blight.
No, I know, but you know what it is? This is why I'm saying I'm just more in that space of retreating. As in, you know when it's like you kind of just have to accept certain people for who they are. Like that's their character and they're not going to change. And I can't keep getting upset at your character. So I just create distance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
That's where I'm at.
And I think what I'm looking to kind of focus on with this back and forth, before we move on, obviously, let's just say I've chosen like a partner, and I've gone all in. Like I've heard what their love language is. I've listened, and I'm giving them everything. Like I'm paying like forensic attention because that's me,
That's
right?
you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, by default. Isn't that person supposed to make an effort? Make an effort to not disappoint. Try their best to not disappoint, because I don't ask so much. Now, this is just a theoretical example. I'm not dating anybody. I've got no love interest.
Other than New Black.
Yeah. But there are people that I'm fond of. There's one in particular that very interesting. Like the concept of her is very interesting, right? But this is you know.
Okay, go on.
Anyway, back to the point.
Oh wow! Did you get lost in the
Yeah. Just
person?
for a minute, because I don't talk like this.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. Okay, cool.
I don't talk like this.
Guys,
Anyway,
Brent's opening up. Listen.
the thing is, you didn't even ask me a question. It's crazy.
But that's wow.
It's
Go on,
mental.
love to see you. Go on.
Anyway, you know what?
No, continue.
This is foreign land.
Don't be annoying.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just making that crap up. I don't feel any way to me. You could ask me as many questions as you want.
Okay, that's fine. Go on, continue.
All right. Yeah. Should I expect them to make an effort to meet me at the point where I should expect things from
But I
them?
guess my question is, what is your relationship? Like, because if the problem is, yeah, let's say you're not dating this person, right? But you, like you said, you're fond of them, and
Yeah.
you're going out of your way because that's naturally who you are, right?
Yes.
You're now expecting them to reciprocate that.
Not to the same level. No.
Not to the same level, but the expectation is give and take, right?
Yes and no. In a sense of, I'm a whole adult, and let's just say this fictitious person is a whole adult. At some point in time, with all of the information that you've amassed through your years of experience living as a mother effing adult, at what stage should you expect people to basically come through with things that they say or do? Surely, especially that they've decided to come with a whole you. I've decided to basically join this union, and you're a whole you. Do you understand? A you as in Gina. There's so much you offer.
Yeah.
Right? There's so much that you do to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
At what stage in your adult living
Yeah.
do you...
But you know this is what I mean about expecting myself from other people, because whilst you're saying it's not to the same degree, there's still an expectation because of what you pour out.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But people aren't like, you're the only one that's going to be disappointed, because the person can turn around and tell you, well, I didn't tell you that this is, do you know what I mean? You're literally expecting something that they've not promised you or told you that they're going to give you, but just based on, like, I guess what's right or what do you know what I mean?
This is why you need to be equally yoked
So I think...
in that particular arena.
Yeah. And I think also, yeah, if you are someone like you are a giver. It's naturally who you are, right? It's in your blood. Like, you can't be any other way. The problem with that is if you're dealing with a taker, they can take till they're blue in their face, and it doesn't, because they're not naturally...
I don't mind about
I know,
that.
but my point is...
I need to be specific as to what I'm actually talking about. I think I tried to basically describe this light bulb moment, like maybe last month. Maybe I flopped, right? Maybe you were here. So I'm aware that different people are different, and they want different things from a relationship, from any sort of ship, right? So if I've come into a relationship like you, me and you get together, I know my strength. I know what it is I'm comfortable with. I don't need much. So I can pour into you 120%. If I don't get that from you, that's fine. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And what I'm talking about is, I always get to this point, and I think through a process exactly the best way to articulate this, and it only crops up impromptu. So I never really get a chance to basically sit with it. And the thing is, I'm not even going to sit with it after I finish this because I'm not going to have this in my head afterwards. Do you understand? Let me just put a pin in it, right? Because we have a couple of things to do and I'd rather basically hear the answers to the questions I have. But first, I have a couple of videos, right? And I've been doing this recently. Every time I'm on X and I find something funny, cute, whatever, I just bookmark it. I'm thinking this might be cool to share with the panel. So I've got a couple. Oh, look, just as you say, is there any bloody dilemmas? Hey, the dilemmas. Yeah, I'm going to catch you one day, you know. I will catch the culprit one day. All right, so first one is, do you think that, one, Wiley has been forgiven?
Oh, the Robbie Williams thing. It's annoying because
or does he feel it's safe outside because of what's happening?
What do you mean because of what's happening?
Obviously, the world, the globe is now looking at Israel a bit different, right? And by, Roxy, the inhabitants of Israel, right? That community. And obviously this is a whole Emirates Stadium, right? And this is a whole Robbie Williams. Yeah. I don't think before the war, Robbie Williams does this. Do you understand? So I'm thinking, hey.
Original sound, can't touch this. 108 can't touch this. Wireless flows, can't touch this. Anything crew's gonna bust this. Original sound, can't touch this. 108 can't touch this. Timeless flows, can't touch this. Wiley! Yeah, I swear to God, the best time we had in the game was back then. On the radio, broken the streets and live at the stage show way back then. All the passion, all the freestyle. Car broke down and I won't free ball. I'm gonna change it, days in the hood. Glad I was raised in the hood. I did it like a young G with my young G's with the balls. Have a block gang with a 22 floors. DJs playing night like an M-Jaws. We had to do that to open up doors. Now the doors are open. First 20 years of God the chosen. Next 20 years of God the golden ranked up. Original sound, can't touch this. 108 kick, can't touch this.
What are your thoughts? Do you think that he is now allowed back in? Or do you think that he's like, F all of that, you're not distracted right now, and the power you had before is dwindling, so I can come up now?
I mean, the interesting thing is, when I saw this, I didn't think, I feel like Wiley's been like slowly coming back out anyways, you get what I mean? Personally. Like, I feel like I've seen him do a lot more stuff. Obviously, there was a time where, like, when he was was there a video of him on the bench? I feel like...
Yeah, Sky News.
Yeah, like, that period, he was, you can't sit with us. Full stop. Whereas I feel like I've been seeing him, like, slowly kind of, like, be a bit more social and get back to the music stuff.
Has he been embraced in this way by such a high tier celebrity?
Not that I've seen, but this isn't to discredit Wiley though.
Yeah.
It's Lethal B's song.
Yeah.
So basically, from what I understand, it was Lethal B's song that he released.
Yeah.
And then was on his stories talking about, we need to do a remix and who should we get on the remix. And then obviously he had Scorcher and Wiley on it. And then, did you see Robbie's freestyle, like in bed? Do you see that video?
Robbie who?
Williams.
No, I didn't.
Oh, so there's a video. There's a video where it's the same song. It's just the instrumental, and then Robbie's freestyling on the beat, and then that went like viral because everyone's like, oh my gosh, Robbie's got bars, like old white man, whatever, and then that caused a lot of like.
Yes, so this makes sense.
And then Lethal was like, "Nah, we need to get Robbie on the remix."
Yeah.
And then so that's what I'm saying. When this happened, it was like I kind of saw...
This is why you're here today. Thank you very much.
I saw it going down that direction, if you know what I mean. So I wasn't surprised.
Scrap my my question. Next one I've seen is this. Right. Not sure if you've seen this.
Oh my God.
My first acting
Listen,
class I took in
sorry,
LA.
can we just pause?
Yes.
I saw this last night, and I just wanted to give him a hug.
Okay.
I haven't seen. I need to watch the full interview.
Okay.
And I love me some Kate.
Yes, you do. Yes,
I love me some
you
Woody.
do.
So I was just like, I'm a girl, so I'm not gonna say pause because I don't know if that was you lot.
No, this is Pride Month. I even if it wasn't Pride Month, I don't. That's not why I responded.
Like I said, I love me some Woody.
Yeah,
His name was Woody McLean.
I'm aware.
Okay, so what's the issue?
I just turned it wrong, Gina. I don't know.
No, because you
when you
turned
talk, I'm
around.
supposed to be looking at you.
Okay, sorry. Continue. You know why you turned around. You tried to be like, ooh.
Oh, all right.
Said I love me some Woody.
All right.
Not Ed saying, you know Woody's my favourite killie. Oh, he is, you know.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Kane.
Yes. All right, let's watch this.
Like, they had this exercise where it's the first day of class, and you have all these actors in there. And then she sit a chair in the front of the room, boom. And she said, all right, you, come here. Sit right here. This is me, I'm sitting in the chair. Back towards the whole crowd. All right, y'all, I want y'all to tell this guy what y'all see him as. So I'm sitting in the chair, everybody's saying, bad boy, the thug, the killer. I'm hearing this stuff. They don't know me, you know, I'm hearing this stuff. And she's like, all right, stop. She's like, all right, turn around, introduce yourself. So I turn around, I'm like,
Which one of y'all niggas trying me?
yeah. I'm like, Woody, nice to meet y'all. Everybody's laughing. Turn back around. All right, what y'all see him as? Oh, he's a nice guy. He's a sweet guy. He's the da-da-da-da. But that moment made me realize people judge you before you even talk, before you even say something. You know what I mean? So before I was just picking any kind of role because I just wanted to act. But now moving forward in my career, it's like I want to be very strategic of what I pick because I don't want everybody to keep perceiving me as this bad person because
It's okay, bro.
my bad.
You good? I know you are good. Don't feel rushed. If anything, lean in.
So I'll pause it there.
Is there more? Oh, see, I haven't. The version I saw literally stopped there.
Oh,
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I haven't seen the rest.
that's okay. Initial thoughts before I ask a couple questions.
It was a wholesome moment. I felt his pain, and obviously you can tell that perception is something that he's obviously battled with. Like, and I think I saw another clip where I think he was talking about his daughters and how he doesn't want them to like grow up and think of his dad as like a really bad person. So I can tell that that's something that he's probably like battled with, or it's like a wound that hasn't healed. So it was really, it was. I'm not gonna say it was nice because do you know what I mean? But it's a proper R moment, and I think I love that he expressed himself, and I love how Cam handled it as well. Like it was a really nice exchange. He just let him be. Yeah, I liked it.
All right, this exchange, do you see that as your perception of how men deal with emotions like that?
What do you mean? Like, it's not... I feel like I could tell, it's like... You see, if it was... Like, obviously, men try to... Like, I could see the battle and the fight in him allowing his emotions to come out. Do you get what I mean? To be fair, that's kind of how I handle it anyway. Like, you've seen. So, I can relate. Like, not wanting to allow yourself to just be in that moment. Like he fought with himself, which is obviously why he had to leave, gather himself, come back. When he came back and sat down, you're still fighting. You're literally still fighting.
And then the response
And then
from Cam.
and then but even the my bad, it's like even him saying like my bad, it's like, what is your bad? Like you haven't done anything wrong, but that feeling of I shouldn't be expressing myself in this way. Like I shouldn't cry. I shouldn't, like telling yourself that what you've done or what you've just experienced is wrong, and then trying to like apologize to other people for it.
Amazing. Right now, there's a lot of talk about masculinity and toxic masculinity and how men need to lean into their feminine and get used to expressing or regulating their emotions. And sometimes regulation of emotions might mean letting it out, right? Cam's response, do you believe that if the man them are alone and Woody respond or does that, in your mind, is Cam's response like how the man them would respond?
I think it depends, you know, because you can have man them that like are emotionally intelligent and that. Do you get what I mean? I think it depends on your social group, and if the man them allow you to be in a safe space. Obviously, some people will mock you, and like, do you know what I mean? And in that moment, it can be like, "What are you crying for?" Do you know what I mean? I think it just depends on the person, because I don't think everyone who's man them is like, "I'll show your mum, I'll show your dad." Do you get what I mean?
All right, let me do an example, a little experiment. Switch Cam out with 50 Cent.
Do you know, I knew you were gonna say 50 Cent because in my head, that's what I was about to do.
What do you think his response would be in that moment?
I don't think 50 Cent's response would be the same.
What do you think he would say?
I think he would troll, maybe.
What do you mean troll?
Do you know what? We could be surprised, you know, because I think like the expectation is for 50 Cent to say something that's quite insensitive and to pass it off as a joke. That would be the natural response that I would. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we see him making light of so many serious situations.
Yeah,
like look at the
yeah.
Diddy situation, for example.
Yeah.
It's quite a serious topic, but every other day there's a funny video or meme or like, do you know what I mean? Which is funny, but it's distasteful. So I can imagine him not respond. Like I can't imagine that kind of safe response.
All right, cool. Couple other things. Do you see Cam as man them anyway? You think he's in that pot?
No.
All right. Now, why?
I just don't.
Tell me why.
Even, do you know what was throwing me off? The Chrissy mentioned it. You know when the camera came out and I saw the boots and the shorts, I said, hey, all right, Django. Like,
Django. All right, so you are not looking to read into this as an example, a reflection, just a normal way two man them would basically respond to each other when it is that they're having a conversation like this, right? This isn't going to basically have you believe that men in general are getting better at dealing with their emotions and creating safe spaces for each other to express them.
I do feel like it is happening, probably just more behind closed doors. Again, I've not seen that, but I can't imagine, like, let's just say someone like Margs, Margs is man them, right?
Yep.
And I can't, and whilst Margs will scream, stop the foolishness and be like, do you know what I mean? I can't imagine Margs being in a space where someone has come to him on that, like in that vulnerable thing, and Margs disregards it. I feel like Margs is emotionally intelligent. Like, he'll be able to handle. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what I mean by like, I don't think all the man them are like.
All right. So in saying that, because Margs more so represents man them, an example of man them than Cam for you, right? And you just said just now that you can see Margs keeping that space safe and even looking to explore that in that particular arena in which a conversation has been had, right?
Yeah.
Do you extrapolate that, or can you extrapolate that and give men a bit more credit, right? When it comes to Some women believing that men need to do the work. It looks like you think that Margs, an example of the man them, has done the work.
But you know what it is? Remember, it's
Can
not,
do the work.
Yeah, it's not. Remember, it's not everyone though. Why are you laughing?
What?
It's not everyone. Like, men need to do the work. Women need to do the work. Everybody needs to do the work.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't like. It's not in absolutes. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, some people could be like, Brent, right? Men are very good at learning and mimicking, right? In order to get granted more access to do of every. So over the years, they've learned the language. They know how you all speak.
So basically, it's a form of a trick, just to get their foot in the door. And then when their foot's in the door, they're gonna show you shaggy. All right.
Then it moves from the talking points of women saying, "Oh, men need to do better. They need to go get therapy." It looks like Cam knows the therapy language. Cam knows the right things. Margs also knows the right things. Since you've used Margs as an example here. But it's funny how you don't think 50 Cent would know or care about the right things.
But like I said, it's based, like I said, my first initial reaction is based on his, like, how he portrays himself online.
Yeah.
But then who's to say behind closed doors? Like, he's not the complete opposite.
50 Cent is going through some things right now. I'm not sure if it is that you've heard what has been happening with the Diddy case.
Not in relation to 50.
I think one of 50's baby mothers used to date.
Oh, is it Daphne?
I don't know.
Basically, I saw, I don't know what I didn't see what that thing was, but I saw ZZ post something and someone mentioned it. Was like, did you see the video?
Good morning, Subi.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Something's wrong over there on your end. I don't know if it's using an Android or something, but
did you see what ZZ said though?
That when
1 second.
if he was over here, like the same practice that he's doing online, doing this and that, you guys will call it crashing out, but you're giving him props for this same behavior.
Basically, you'd call him a bitch because all of it is to do with a woman. Like he's crashing it over his ex or his baby mum or whatever. Like you wouldn't rate it, but because it's 50 Cent, you lot are giving it a blight.
Do you agree?
I think, and she said because he's been shot 9 times, and I thought, do you know what? I think a lot of people are like not scared of 50 Cent, but like, do you get what I mean? Do you know what he reminds me of? You know, like a bully, yeah, who's like, and you know me, I love me some Curtis Jackson, but you know, like a bully who like, it's like you can't like. I don't want to be a victim, so I'm going to be like the big bad wolf and just appear really scary and like around so people will be mindful or like less likely to come and attack me, or I'm always going to be in the defense, so I attack everyone first.
Oh, you think he's cosplaying like
I don't think
villain?
I don't think it's a cosplay, but I feel like maybe it's a trauma response. I don't know.
All right, so you say you're petty all the time, right?
Calm down.
I hear you, but if someone violates or disrespects you in a particular manner, you're not forgetting that, and you're going to...
No.
Yeah, each time it is that you see them, right? Or if each time it is that you hear their name or they're spoken about.
Yeah, but I'm not going to his...
No, fair. That I'm just giving a parallel, right? He obviously doesn't like Diddy.
Yeah, of course.
And it may have started when he found out that obviously Diddy is dating his such and such, knowing what Diddy get up to, then finding out that she was she had her own freak off this, that, and the next. And that would make a lot of people like double down on not liking a person, especially seeing as you're the mother of one of my sons, right? Now, this is just an isolated thing that's happening right now, but he's been showing this particular flavor of character with different people too.
No, of course.
So the crashing out comment
I don't think it's my thing is I don't think it's in relation to her because, like you said, he's very consistent. He's consistent. Even people who are in close proximity who don't, in my opinion, deserve it, like Little Meech. Like
You don't know the full context there.
I don't, but again, you would think, especially when it comes to he's a kid, like in comparison to you, like they're kids. So I like I said, he's consistent. It is everyone gets the same treatment. Even his own son.
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe that he feels he's justified with everything that he does anyway. Because in my head, if it is that, sorry, I don't even know if the picture is real. Was that picture real? Him in all white taking a picture of her on the beach?
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
Who's the picture? Did he?
Yeah, no, 50.
Taking a picture of who? His ex.
What if we call him Daphne?
Mm-hmm. There's a picture of 50 Cent taking a picture of
Yeah,
Daphne
it might
on the
be
beach.
AI, I don't know.
Okay.
You want me to find it for you, or she?
Yeah, because I don't have a clue what you're talking about. You want to show me, clearly, because I feel like you think it's really important to this discussion.
No, it's not that. To be honest, I actually thought you would know. I thought I was talking to Esther right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I've been slightly living under a rock. So, yeah.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm trying to find it on X and I've typed in 50 all white. Look.
And it came up. Oh my days, no. This is so funny. Oh, bless him, man.
Do you think it's AI? Because it's like a young 50, isn't it?
I don't think it's AI. How long ago did they date? 50 Cent wearing white linen is crazy. It's not the white linen, it's the pose. Forget the white linen. It's everything else about the picture. They can't see.
Zubi, are you able to talk now?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
No.
Hello.
All right.
1 2 1 2.
Anywho. Right. Next thing I stumble across is this. Hold up. I'm done with you, sir. But by the way, that's how men talk regular. You understand?
What?
This is how we turn up for our brothers. We do this all the time. This is literally a reflection of conversation that we have
What,
behind
Cam
the scenes.
and Willie?
Yeah, man, this is how we talk.
You, yes.
We create no. We all create a safe space for our
I
person.
definitely, I can agree that. I know that you do.
No, all of us. There was a time when
To be fair though,
I was so low, and
can I be honest? If you're coming to lie and say a story,
Loon just like he felt my energy was different, and he's like, "You alright, bro?" I was like, "Honestly, not." And he's like, "All right, sit down." And I was like, "Serious?" He said, "Yeah, let's talk about it, obviously." And that was the most time I cried in front of any man before.
okay, you know what? You don't even believe yourself, guys. He's really trying hard to not look at him. No, don't move your mouth from the mic. Go on the mic and save your chest.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm going to stop sharing. All right, so this next one is a conversation between Timbaland and Young Guru. Did you see it?
No, is this about the AI?
This
thing?
is about AI. What were your what's your first thoughts when it is that you saw him announcing that he signed his first AI?
I just thought, oh well, damn. And then I saw an artist like have like a response to it, and just talk about how it's coming to ruin the lives of artists and loads of jobs are going to be taken.
1 2 1 2. Am I heard?
Oh, Brent, they could hear the caller.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, but they said the volume was low. But they were like, we can
Hold
hear
up. Let me see. Oh, sorry, Zubi. Give me 1 second. In fact, everybody, give me 1 second. My flipping unit has done that same thing again where everybody can hear what's happening, but we can't hear the speaker inside. So let me just...
Got it.
Yeah, let me just sort something out. 1 second.
Oh, well, damn, okay.
God damn it.
Damn it.
Well, you told us,
Did
but
it?
you were right.
The problem is not with me.
I apologize,
It's
Zubi.
true.
I apologize. You got your thing patterned over there. My thing needs an update. How are you? Good morning.
Hi, can you hear me?
We
You heard
can.
Yes,
that? I
please.
thought I'd mute my mic.
No, we can. I apologize. My fault. So, what did you want to speak on this fine Monday morning?
I'm really bad with all of this celebrity stuff. I just wanted to chime in because I like to support the show if I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that the title of the video was "I want to explore the world."
Yes.
So
All right, so
I
stay
was
there because I'm
waiting for
getting,
some-
gonna get to the
Right.
topic of the day because we have a whole set of questions just on that. So stay there, don't go nowhere, don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
No
Don't
problem,
go
no
anywhere.
problem.
Thank you very much, Subi. All right, so
all right.
I've seen this post by Timbaland getting so excited that he's signing his first AI artist, and I'm thinking, oh my, this is going to be very interesting, and I wonder what his fellow peers would have to say about this, right? And I stumbled on this conversation, and I'm hearing going back and forth. I'm hearing Young Guru's points. I'm also hearing Timbaland's responses. And I'm thinking, whoa, this is really interesting. Because Timbaland, he's a legend in this game, right?
He is.
And what it sounds like this AI app or whatever he's using is allowing him to do is not just to expedite his process, because it sounds as though he said he's fed it all this information, all of its beats and whatnot. It's obviously mapped his sound, and he now has to just sit there and say this, that, and next, or type this, that, and the next, and a whole composition is produced. Now, I've seen and heard these things in action. It really does a finger snap, and you really have a composition, right? And Young Guru, I guess he is a professor at some university talking about music and the business of music, and he's telling him this is very dangerous, what you're doing, because people follow you and have followed you for years. And you now looking to promote this future tech. What does it say to all of the current musicians, current producers, who spent years learning this particular craft, only for it to take seconds for a computer to do the same thing, and not just that, to give 25 different variations of that same thing? And he used an example of jazz music and jazz musicians who have spent years in this craft, only for this machine to do the same complex composition in seconds. So I'm wondering, in your field, obviously you can't be just Gene physically forever. Do you fear AI in your industry at all?
No, because I feel like the smartest thing to do would be to adapt AI into your business and your process.
To start off with, right?
Yeah.
And that's what his argument. And also somebody who's kind of off cam in his room, the guy said, if the rules of war has changed, why are you still complaining about us using these new tools to fight this new frontier, right?
Why is who complaining?
Young Guru.
Okay.
And I understand that argument, right? But I also get, when I say understand the argument, if this is going to be the future, is there any recourse still fighting for this?
But that's the thing though, right? I feel like it's the way of, like, that's where we're going. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen, right? So it's like, get with the times or get left behind.
Yeah.
So yes, you can fight, but the smartest thing to do will be trying to kind of adapt and figure out how you can make it work for you to work alongside it, because it's only going to get, not worse, but in some degree worse. Because ultimately, when I saw someone make a post and I was like, I get it. It's like, it's going to now, in terms of jobs and stuff and things that people are physically doing, that's now going to get removed. So certain people might lose jobs, certain industries might, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Will no longer
That's
flourish.
already happening, mind you.
Exactly. So again, it's about, if you can see that that might be a thing, you have to adapt. So let me give you an example, yeah? COVID happened, and a lot of people who had front-facing jobs had to adapt or would have got left behind. Do you get what I mean? I'm one of them. I had to pivot. All my stuff was done face-to-face. I didn't even consider online, or like, that wasn't where I was looking or thinking, and I had to learn, adapt, and then go down that road. I could have chosen to not do it. And do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's kind of, it's similar. Obviously, AI is not the same as COVID, 100%, but I'm just giving an example of having to adapt to the times and not trying to fight it, because if fighting it isn't going to change the outcome.
All right, amazing. Let's just go into a particular dystopian world where next week COVID happens again.
Yep.
And all these particular brands that you do business with, the ones you love, the ones you don't, the ones you have a rock relationship with, they've decided,
You're funny.
well, let's now put out AI models, because nothing's done in person anymore.
No, of course.
So let's create these things and let these work 100%.
Yeah.
How would you pivot?
Maybe create my own AI influencer.
And just rely on the capital you've built up so far to translate over into patronage.
I might even just go down a completely different route. There's other things that I could probably do, like products, like creating products. AI is not going to take away products. Do you get what I mean? Like, in terms, even like food and stuff, yeah. Like, are we going to get to a point where we're never going to eat again? I don't know, but do you know what I mean? It's like, there's other, if that one side no longer serves me, all right, cool, let me figure out other ways in which I can, do you know what I mean? And I can create AI training plans. I can create, do you know what I mean? Like, and these are all things that currently is even happening in the background. So you just have to adapt.
So essentially your audience, they mostly care about the story of Just Gene, where even if you've had to pivot, they're still coming with you because they believe in you.
Well, I hope so. I hope so.
And suppose...
But also, remember, yeah, I think with me, if I'm being completely honest, yeah...
brings out
me.
Justice Gene.
Justice Gene, you know?
And a little bit younger, Nigerian, a bit more pizzazz, less of the shoot 'em up, right? Well, that might be the selling point, to be honest.
You know those, do you know what's really funny? Yeah, you know this is the only platform that has that view of me. I'm just saying, but go on, proceed.
I know you, just like I was saying before, that about camouflage and men learning different tricks in order to basically, you know, be safe in the environment in which they're in. 100% you've been telling the rest of the world that you're this, that, and next. They don't know you.
You don't know this. You don't know it.
Never mind. Anyway, so let's jump into...
I've got something to say about this, by the way.
Please, run it.
Thank you. I think the world is wholly underprepared for the unbelievable disruption that AI is going to cause.
Facts.
I agree.
I use AI in all of my processes now. I have a,
So do I.
I have a search engine optimization agency, and I have a YouTube channel. So it's disrupting everything. Half of my video production process is AI, and every week I'm looking to find more and more things that can help me speed the process up. Eventually, what I see happening, I mean, eventually that's not like it will be the end of it. You know, there'll be more beyond this horizon, but I think I'll just be able to say my concept into my phone, and the whole video process will be made, and my face and everything will be there, all edited, all done, without me needing to do anything more than just explain my concept. It already know my talking points, more or less, and it will just output a video. based on that. Go and do the research, go and collect any complementary things that I might want to put in the video, and go on with that. Same thing with the website industry. So, you know, a process that used to take me 2-3 weeks now takes me 1 day. And I can build not just any website. Anyone can build a website in a day with AI, but to build a highly search engine optimized website takes some specific know-how that the AI can't quite do yet. That a human needs to be involved in that process. But I think we're talking about a world where just absolutely everything will be disrupted, and I don't think it's talked about enough in politics. I don't think people are ready. I don't think that people understand the jobs that are going to be decimated, and we need to talk about what's going to happen beyond this horizon of mass disruption. I mean, I follow a podcast called Moonshots. Those guys, AI goes into every facet. So, for example, in healthcare, AI they think that humans are going to reach a situation because of AI called escape velocity, which means that if you are 40 or under right now, this is what they're saying. I'm not saying this. This is what they're saying. If you're under 40 right now, healthcare is going to be so good. They can, you know, figure out problems at a tiny molecular level before you've got, you know, pre-cancer, and they can fix things. And so the life expectancy of someone that's 40 now may reach 120 because of the way technology is going to improve. And then in between the time that it would take for them to go from 40 to 120, the discoveries and breakthroughs that AI will allow in the healthcare system could mean that we could even become immortal. This is some of the discussion that's happening. So, you know, I just think this is one step that Timbaland has broken through music-wise, but it is just like, this is just going to keep continuing and continuing and continuing. The question is, how do we survive as a society? And,
I don't think Timbaland has broken through anything. I think he doesn't understand that he's training his AI model to replace him. He's just literally gotten in on the ground floor. This particular company has come to him, knowing full well he has a name, knowing full well the stigma attached to what it is they're doing, and said, the best way to basically have this placed into the music space is to have a big name like Timbaland market it and promote it, advocate for it. And he doesn't realize, given it all of his catalog, and then saying, nah, this is what I do, and I basically partner with it. You're not partnering with anything. You're literally not partnering with anything. And I feel he doesn't understand ramifications too tough. And him sitting there and having young Guru basically break this down to him, he looked lost at several junctions, so lost. And the things that he was saying, I'm thinking, do you not understand that very soon they're not calling you for anything? They're not calling any sort of producers for anything because they've got all the songs in human history and the ability to provide the variety within seconds. What is your purpose anymore, Timbaland? What's your purpose? So I
agree with that.
Go on.
Like what I mean, like the breakthrough. I mean, this is a step between Timbaland's total obsolescence. So right now they just need him because we're coming from the pre-AI world, and we're just entering the frontier of the AI world. But what I'm saying is that 2 steps beyond Timbaland, there is no Timbaland. There's just whatever connects with humanity, and they can make a new Timbaland that doesn't exist. And I guess my point is that I see that happening everywhere. That's going to be in Gina's industry. That's going to be in podcasting industry. You know, I'm here on YouTube. I make videos, and I'm wondering, like, is there going to be a time when you go to YouTube, you type in what you're looking for, or you think what you're looking for, and YouTube just produces the video for you without the need of any creator, right? So the the exponential growth and the trajectory is fundamentally going to break all paradigms that we exist in right now. At the moment, I can profit, and Timbaland can profit from like, oh, I'm kind of first on AI, and I can be and I get a headline, and Timbaland's still a brand name. But in 5 years, 10 years, I don't know how long, it's going to be so disruptive. It's going to be completely different to what anything we recognize now. And yes, it's a problem, but it's inevitable also, because all of this is an arms race. So if Timbaland doesn't do it, fine, someone else will do it, and it will break the industry, and it will happen. So it's kind of a dystopian look, and I don't know. We're going to have to adapt to this. We're going to have to contend with this. I wish I could tell you what the answer would be, but it is going to devastate us. And there's not like all of us can sit here and be like, this is morally incorrect. But to some extent, it doesn't matter, because it's inevitable. It's an arms race across every industry.
So I agree with you on that point. I agree that
this should be Elon Musk fighting Donald Trump. That should not be the headline in politics right now. What should happen every day is that Donald Trump should come out, Keir Starmer should come out, all the leaders should come out and be like, AI is on the horizon, guys. What the fuck are we doing about this? That's what I think should be the main headline all day long. Right?
All right. So I agree and I disagree. Good morning, Johannes.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Blessed and highly favored. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What are your thoughts on this?
I found this a little bit fascinating about the AI and where it's going to take us. I was listening to Diary of a CEO. He had Simon Sinek, I can't remember his name. Simon something on. He made a good point. I mean, he was kind of on the same pathway as Zuby, saying that it's going to transform jobs and so forth. But he was saying that all it means is that we're just going to have to do different jobs. So the same way when the industrial revolution happened, went from being factory workers, then we all became IT professionals or whatever. Same thing will happen now. You just have to change your job. Well, obviously, some of us will be unemployed because we're not going to be able to learn new skills in that way. So there's that as well. But then the other aspect he mentioned, so going down the creativity side, that made me think was, at some point you want the human element. If it's too perfect, there's something wrong with it. And it doesn't feel right from a human perspective. So although you can search the YouTube video and it will read your mind and it will do it, there's something about it that won't be right to you after a certain point. Obviously, when it first starts, it's amazing. You see this, I wanted to watch videos on how cars made and it shows me all the ins and outs, blah, blah, blah. But until, when you don't see the human mistakes and the human elements where what fundamentally makes it, I think there's where the issue will arise at some point. I don't know when, but at some point it'll become a problem. And I think the same thing with the Timbaland music. You've given it your catalog, fantastic, but I don't think you can recreate what Timbaland knows inside it. You can create all this old stuff, but how can you create what's new in Timbaland's mind? Because whatever brought him there, it was whatever emotion took him there. It's not just something that I don't think AI can just repeat it. In that regard.
All right, pause there. That's a fantastic point, and I think it was also brought up in the exchange. So it can only look to provide variations of what it's being fed, right? This is the argument. It doesn't know what Timbaland hasn't yet thought about, right? Yes. And you're holding on to that like it is the most valuable thing ever. And I do believe that even when AI literally replaces so many different processes, there would be a resurgence of wanting nostalgia and authenticity. There's still going to be some movement where people want it like how it used to be. The same way we like analog sound and we have vinyls, there's still going to be a market for that, right? And even the younger generation stumbling on what used to be and falling in love with that particular thing, it's still going to be a reality. However, I do believe in every single aspect, it's all about capitalism. It's all about mass production, right? So after a while, who's going to care about the thing that Timbaland hasn't yet thought about? If the tracks that I am getting makes me dance, right? And if people, because I was having a conversation with someone else, like, but you're not going to replace physical concerts and dancing on stage and whatnot. You can have technology that you cannot perceive the difference between a flipping holographic image and the actual person. You're not getting on stage anyway. Do you understand? So you can turn up to the event and you can have the experience and not even know that person is not even there.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I agree with you, Subi. I think this is inevitable. I think just like the Industrial Revolution, new generations, this is going to be the norm. So they're not going to know any otherwise. And those who are complaining now, we're just going to be just siphoned off. Do you understand? We don't represent the future because we're not everlasting.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But there are so many industries that involve a lot of dedication and sacrifice from creatives, to have a technology that can just do away with that in a snap of a finger, only for the owners of said technology or the people who've licensed it to just care about the maximization of their profits, because that's what it is. That's what it's all about. I think it's too much of an instantaneous disruption for people to just take it lying down. Do you understand? And it's so, I do believe that Timbaland, in parts, he's thinking, nobody's looking for my music anymore, and it's so saturated, let me just find other ways to maximize my profits because it's happening anyway. Let me be seen to be the
forefront.
Yeah. He came out and made like the announcement like it was okay, well done, Timbaland. Why are we doing that? Do you understand? Why am I going to congratulate you for now selling me something that is not fraudulent, but it's not original? Do you understand? In my concept of original, I still live in this world. I'm still straddling past and future technology, and I have so many years still in front of me. I'm not going to embrace this. Do you understand? I understand and get so much from the real thing, and AI, it has helped different processes in different people's work flow, work stream. For example, you can make admin less laborious. You can make sending emails less stressful, right? There are words that you want to communicate to your boss in a passive-aggressive way, but not get in trouble, right? So let me just ask ChatGPT to help me do that. Do you understand? 100%. But if I knew that when I went to work, the work that was supposed to provide me financial security for the next 50 years, I've been told you now have to find another career, that will shatter me. Do you understand?
I think that's inevitable, though.
It is,
brother.
It is. I agree.
It's inevitable, and the idea that I understand the moral quandary of it, but because it's inevitable, you have to contend with it. We have to contend with it, and we are not contending with it. We're just kind of like, okay, AI's coming or whatever. Like, it's the nature of exponential growth. It's so hard for us to conceptualize the speed of the impact, like the speed of growth. Exponential growth is crazy. So I think all of us are woefully unprepared mentally. And you said the speed of this change. Yeah, it's really going to happen quick. It's going to feel like it's coming. And all of a sudden, boom, all nurses are no longer needed. All doctors are no longer needed. In fact, the AI will be so good that it will be a liability to have a doctor do the surgery, because a computer is more accurate. So why would I have a human there? The human becomes the liability. They get tired, they get stressed, they feel the pressure. So it won't even be morally acceptable to have a doctor anymore.
Well, isn't the issue in that
we have to face?
That's a great point. And sorry, what was that, Johannes?
No, I was just going to jump in and say, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It makes complete sense. But isn't where the human judgment comes in, where AI will do things based on data? So the probability of survival rate is, I don't know, 10%. Human, we know it's 10%, but this doctor has seen things, understands things slightly different, and will take the risk, and then the risk could end up saving the person's life. I know I'm talking about very niche
capable
scenarios.
of taking risk.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess you could program it to take risks. Okay, I understand your.
It's going to be. It's already kind of at our intelligence level at the cutting edge. It's going to get an order of magnitude more intelligent than us. That includes nuance. And then from that order of magnitude, it's going to get another order of magnitude more intelligent than that. So like we are an order of magnitude more intelligent than a monkey. Like the difference between what a monkey can do and what we can do is vast. And then like think of like AI is going to be an order of magnitude more intelligent than that. And like you say about like, you know, Timberland's, it can only do what Timberland's done before or whatever. What it does is it understands the formula of why all of Timberland's songs are hits. It understands what the chord structures are. It understands all of those things. And then it just optimizes for that. And because we are meat and flesh evolved beings, we react to certain things, you know, in a particular way. That's what the art of music creation is, on art and all the. It connects to us because of our deep, evolutionary drivers. So it's going to know how to pinpoint those things that taste most sweet to us musically, and just optimize to always make songs that fit those criteria.
You're hitting it on the head of the nail. You're literally. Thank you very much, Subi. Now, Stacey, I need you to come to the Discord, because I don't think you truly understand the power of this new technology. As Subi has laid out, this isn't just the creative field that is going to be decimated or optimized. It's going to be everywhere. And it would be morally wrong to not adopt it in the space of healthcare. Because it will mean, wait, are you choosing to play percentages with that person's life? Because if you use this, it dramatically increases the chance of that person's survival. Why are you basically still using the old gen? Do you understand? I couldn't agree more, Subi. And I think a lot of people don't truly understand how fast this technology is growing. How fast it is. Well, when Danielle comes on the show and she talks about her white paper, because it's all about consciousness and AI being conscious, it moves past just us programming it. It will get to a stage. I'm even saying it's already there. It's already there, but not the consumer facing technology, mind you. Stacey, good morning. When you're saying that we are fear-mongering, right, and we're being dramatic, is it because you are across all of the vast developments in this particular space?
I did not say you were fear-mongering.
Well, you're using very spicy words in the chat there, right? And I moved away from the creative industry, because if it is I'm just focused on there, then you don't quite understand the whole scope of how it's been incorporated or adopted.
Yeah, I think my sentiment initially was about the creative industry, but I think it still kind of stays consistent with everything else. I just think everybody's being dramatic. I think there is validity to it will change a lot of things drastically. I'm not arguing that, but I think that it gets to a point in that argument where I think we become extremely unrealistic. Like the possibilities are endless when it comes to tech. That's not what I'm saying, but to say things like jobs are going to be obsolete, like, you know, we're not going to be needing, we're going to have hospitals that won't require, like, cut the cameras. Like, we understand that things like AI, I don't want to say are only as good as what you input into it, but there's everything in technology still requires a certain level of human, I don't want to say interaction, but like human something. Like, I think when I say optimize, I mean there are some functions that are going to be drastically modified where AI is better for efficiency's sake. But when it comes to actually doing things, especially when it comes to medicine, I'm not hearing the argument that, oh, we're going to have hospitals that are primarily AI robots and maybe a couple human. Like, stop. Be serious.
All right, question. Let's take the hospital analogy, right? So, when's the last time you went to the hospital and saw a GP, Gina?
I don't remember.
Do you remember any experiences sitting opposite a GP and then them asking about symptoms and whatnot?
Yeah.
Do you think that could be replaced easily with the flippant AI model?
Of course.
All right, so that job's gone. All right. The next stage is a nurse, and one could say,
hold on, but no. But again, sometimes that's if I'm like being verbal. Sometimes you might have to show them physically what it is that you're dealing with. Do you get what I mean? So
yes.
I don't think.
So when you say show them physically, the same way you show them physically, you can show a camera that an AI flipping language model can perceive. Because don't you throw stuff into ChatGPT and ask them about?
Sometimes they might have to like feel your skin and stuff. No. If I had a lump in my breast, is a robot gonna feel the lump and then tell me, okay, this is? Do you know what I mean?
So cool. Let's take that. Can a nurse do the same thing, or an assistant?
Yeah, probably.
And then explain to the language model, this is what this is. Because we do the same thing when it is that we go to Google and type in our symptoms, or go to Reddit with these descriptors to find out this, that, and the next. So
they always tell us that we're dying. Like, they're very dramatic.
Literally.
Who read
the internet. Anytime I go on Google and I type in something, I'm dying.
And
basically.
what do a lot of GPs do? They say everything's fine. Right?
No, they'll tell you not to rely. Don't.
I'll prescribe you this. Hey, go for your business. But a lot of them enter whatever you're telling them into a computer, and then that computer feeds.
Tell you or whatever.
Yeah. Sorry. So you're saying in this physical hospital, yes, you would always need warm bodies because you would still have kind of gurneys to push around. You would still have
even the argument you
to
just
clean
made,
up spills. Huh?
If you think your doctors aren't using AI today, you're stupid. Some of these doctors went to school during the pandemic.
I know that doctors use AI today. I know that doctors use AI.
They cheated. I'm so done.
I know that doctors use AI, but I'm more. Let's advance this to the surgery room now, right?
God forbid.
No, but doctors currently utilize advances in technology to basically do things quicker, better right now, currently, right? Now, what's to say that this technology isn't going to be so advanced that you being able to remove a particular tumor, you don't need the physical opening up anymore. You've used flipping some sort of waves, some frequency waves, sound, and you've targeted it. All of that stuff is done within a cubicle that you just sit in or lie down in, and boom, it's gone. What's the human? Why do we need a doctor to basically open up and do that anymore? Right? That's antiquated technology.
I think Mav4K in the chat is asking a very good question. Can we identify what we mean by AI? Because what you're describing to me just sounds like advanced technology, medical technology. When they came up with what are those scanners that they have, X-ray machines and MRI scans, did we call that AI or did we just call that more advanced medical technology?
So I'm basically trying
what you're describing to me.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm not talking about ChatGPT. I'm telling you, artificial intelligence.
AI is
every
human
single
reasoning or conscious reasoning.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about conscious reasoning, because if it is you just mentioned conscious reasoning, my 4K is still not going to understand the relevance of that, right? I'm talking about every single thing that will replace a human being. I'm not just talking about you typing in, can you help me with my dissertation in ChatGPT, and it gives you this, that, and next.
That's so conscious reasoning.
Yeah,
that's what we said.
I'm not talking about that.
It's the merging
of technology and conscious reasoning.
On the left, you have robotics, and then you can put conscious reasoning into that robot, and now you have two parts that make more than the whole, because you have the dexterity to do the surgery with the robotic movement that a human doesn't have, that kind of dexterity, and then you have the intelligence and precision and the lack of emotion to do the job without pressure that the model can do. So like all of these technologies are merging. Like the AI is merging in like robotics, it's merging in finance, it's merging in like you name it. So it's not just AI alone, it's what it unlocks as it converges with other tech combined.
So think though that AI is not as what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to call it inaccurate because that would be false. But like I think that y'all the way that we're questioning this right now is ironically proving the point of AI when it comes to AI reliance. Like when people think they can rely on AI so much that they just put their trust in it without back checking it, which back checking would still require a human to do. How many times have you put something into ChatGPT and it misunderstood what you were talking about because maybe it doesn't understand the nuance of context, or maybe it doesn't understand, like you to think that you're gonna put in all the details contextually, how things are connotated. That's not feasible all the time, and sometimes that can very much swing the pendulum in a different direction in terms of output. So how many? I know this for I use ChatGPT daily. I pay for ChatGPT Plus, and I use it daily for personal and business things. But countless times daily, I can't even say it's rarely daily, I have to ask ChatGPT to pivot the direction in which it's giving me its output because it's not taking either into account something, or it just missed something completely and I have to redirect it to what it is that I'm expecting. Like that still takes a certain level of human fact checking or human, interaction to make sure that AI is acting in the way that we need it to. So that's why I can't completely get behind AI being a replacement, but I can get behind it being an enhancement.
Well, how do you account for the fact that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there was no ChatGPT because it was not able to even do half of what the current ChatGPT does? You had ChatGPT 2, you had ChatGPT 3, now we're on ChatGPT 4, right? Like, so in 5 years' time,
not 5 years, not 5 years, 5 months. 5 months.
Right. So
the
like
rate of
you're not taking into account the rate of growth, number one. Number two, let's say that we are fear-mongering and we are totally off the mark and whatever. If we are wrong about that, then life just goes on. Like everyone keeps their job, life, if we're wrong about this. But if we're right about it,
there's not if, it's not if, it's a hey, it's hey. Have you heard of Neuralink, Stacey?
Have I heard of what?
Neuralink.
No.
All right, please search Neuralink. Essentially, it's this little a device, right, that is placed on your head, whether it's the back of your skull or whatnot, right? And I have seen it allow a paraplegic man to be able to use his computer, move the mouse, and play chess. Right? This artificial.
You're shocked by this technology?
Yeah. Sorry,
isn't that what Stephen Hawking had, just to speak?
No, this is not Stephen Hawking. This is not Stephen Hawking. And the thing is, we can laugh all we want, right? You are going to basically see, well, you're going to see this particular platform reporting on it over the course of the next 5 years anyway, right? We are going to be letting you know the advancements because you obviously don't know how quickly it is evolving. And once it is, quantum computing now is introduced in a mass scale, you would see the exponential growth and adoption and the dissemination of what human living actually looks like. I'm telling you right around the corner,
add on to some point
transhumanism will be a thing. It will be as common as drinking water.
When you say that, you mean the AI will be talking to AI?
Hello?
I mean, AI will be implanted in us. Is that what you're trying to say?
AI will be what?
Go ahead, sorry.
What did you say?
No, I was just saying, you said trans something.
Transhumanism.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We are already transhumanized.
I'm sorry.
Go on.
My final note, I think, and to be clear, I don't want to give the impression that I think that there's a cap on the capabilities of how AI will continue to advance. Again, with technology, the possibilities are endless. Once upon a time, we were sending pigeons. Now we're sending texts. Like, I very much understand how things can grow and evolve. What I'm saying is, I think that still it requires a level of human interaction, one. And two, going back to the whole creative thing, I think we as humans understanding the potential dangers behind this, and not everyone understands it, but I think certain powers that be definitely do. Again, AI is not new to them the way it's new to us. I'm seeing it now in the entertainment industry in terms of artists, actors, writers, all parties involved, honestly, down to agents, are seeing how AI can enhance their business, but can also hurt their business. And people are actively taking steps to, I don't want to say put legalities behind, the ethics of it, but essentially that, like, there has to be a point where, okay, ethics we can argue, but like people are going to protect themselves and, on how AI is used in the workplace, in business, etc. And I think that if it does get to the point where it is threatening society the way you guys are saying, I see a universe where before it gets to a breaking point, there's going to be some usage parameters that's going to be legally explained and legally defined. That's going to not dim down, because we all know it's possible, but like make certain things less, I don't want to say less impactful, but I hope you catch my drift. I don't see a universe where AI becomes, what's that shit from Marvel Ultron, where it just starts, generating on its own and taking over the universe without there being any type of resistance, whether it be legal or whether it just be manpower. I don't know. But if countries like North Korea can completely, like, what I'm trying to say, like, pull certain things from the purview of their citizens, surely we can have control as to how technology is evolving within our countries. So that's my takeaway.
Has anyone watched the new Mission Impossible?
No.
Because that's essentially kind of what the film's about.
Serious?
So there's an AI, like, that's literally, there's obviously people, right, who've got this AI. And, oh yeah, I feel like I'm spoiler alert. I'm basically telling you about the film. But anyway, there's just, it's going to cause, like, nuclear wars, mass destruction. You have, like, the big Russia, China, Japan, America, the UK, whatever, like, and it takes over to the point where it disables everyone's, sorry, spoiler alert, it disables everyone's, like, ability to control, like their defense system, and is about to launch, like, missiles. Do you know what I mean? So that's what that film's about. But as you're talking, it's just making me think. And even when I was watching the film, I was like, hey, our days are numbered. Like, that's literally all I was thinking when I was watching the film. I was like, yeah, this shit's gonna get real.
All right. So, good morning, Black Rob.
Morning, people.
Can you basically, like, share your wisdom to these uninitiated, please?
with this AI stuff, like, they always telegraph what they're going to do before they do it. So all these movies, like Gina was saying, there's so many movies about this stuff where they're softening us to or the unintended consequences of AI. Now, you spoke about Neuralink. There's a big cabal of, well, I wouldn't say cabal because then they'll call me to laugh at, but there's lots of people in, like Elon Musk. There's quite a few people in, like, billionaires and people in high places that are actually pro transhumanism, which is augmenting the human parts into AI and technology, and that would mean basically chipping and pinning us and all that stuff. And we're moving in that direction anyway. They're softening us to these type of things. I just think that we're not. You said that the rate of growth with AI is exponential. Like, if you've seen this VEO stuff, like all these video technology that you can make, like, AI prompts that will make whole videos and stuff like that. It's going to be really mad. It's going to be really mad. It's going to come real quickly. So I don't think that we should say that it's not what's the word? it's not plausible or even viable that these things can happen in a really short space of time, and that it's going to take a lot of our jobs. I think it's going to take so many jobs. Like, even if you look at Fiverr, people used to do graphic design and then make a little bit of money off that on the side, and now you can make images within a second. It's going to devalue the creative industry so fast. It's already being devalued anyway. Like, so even the Timberland stuff, even like graphic designers, industries where we don't value them well enough as it is, music and the creative is even getting devalued further. And then the transhumanism agenda is actually part of, like, if you look at I forgot what report it was. I don't know if it was like, I need to remember what report it was. They telegraph what they're going to do before they do it. You find a white paper somewhere from like 10, 15 years ago that will talk about transhumanism. And Elon Musk is a big proponent of transhumanism, which is of Neuralink and chip and pin in and stuff like that. So I put in the chat a prompt that I put into ChatGPT. I said, if they wanted to chip and pin us, what would be the plans for, how would the powers that be get the masses to adopt it? And it laid out like all the different strategies that they would do if they wanted to chip and pin us. And a lot of the stuff is happening already. I'll share it into the Discord and read it and just look at the stuff that they say, what they do to get them, soften the gem pop to like chipping and pinning yourself. And obviously you get a digital society, cashless society, make it like, it's kind of like the COVID stuff, just make it so unviable for you to do anything without, like they're doing in China a little bit, where they have like the scorecard system where you have like a scorecard based off of like a social scorecard, and then they've got like AI technology. And so I'm going all over the place, but I know that someone said something about Ultron, but I think a better example is, do you know in Captain Marvel, there was a big machine that looked like Zordon from Power Rangers, and it's called Supreme Intelligence. Like in the cartoons, the Kree and the Skrull are like two alien factions that are fighting each other, and the Kree have this thing called Supreme Intelligence, and what they do is that they amalgamate the intelligence of all of their top scientists and figures of past and present. And it creates the supreme intelligence. So they get their brains and they scan it and they bring it together and it creates supreme intelligence. And supreme intelligence is like their god, and they're also their like emperor. It's like a god emperor. So they worship it, but then it's also like their leader. And it dictates what they do. So it tells them, oh, do this, do that, because they see it as like a god. And I think it sounds wild, but I think eventually there's gonna be people worshiping AI and stuff like that. But anyway, read the Book of Revelations and read Matthew 24, and it'll add some context to what I'm saying.
Sorry. Good morning, Karma Serene. Can you find your way to the stage, please? Stacy says here, right? If you have used AI to make images, you will value creatives more. And then she follows on by saying, distorted ass visuals. You're using the wrong language model to create your images. Get onto Midjourney and see the stark difference. And there's so many other language models that are better than ChatGPT, just to basically create images, mind you. I've been creating all my thumbnails.
Brent.
Hello.
Brent, can I make a point, please?
Yes, you can.
So my YouTube channel is about African geopolitics, right?
Yes.
And the rise of Ibrahim Traore right now is a big.
Can you just plug your YouTube channel, please? It's quite amazing. Plug it, please.
It's called the Subi Shop.
All right.
SUBI Shop.
Thank you.
So, recently there is a phenomenon happening where, so Ibrahim Traore is French speaking. He's from Burkina Faso. Recently, there's a phenomenon where people are taking his interviews and they're creating deepfakes, and he speaks in English very articulately, and he'll be talking about like French colonialism or American colonialism or whatever, right? And these videos get hundreds of thousands of views. They're very popular. If you go in the comments section, everyone's like, yeah, anti-colonial, whatever. And but the truth is that what those videos say are not accurate to whatever he said in that interview. They've just used AI and made their own content, right?
Yeah.
And I made a video about the dangers of this because, you know, we can't be. His activism is life and death, and for exterior factors to come in. I mean, I know that the message might sound fine, but all it takes is any other actor to come in and make their own versions of it, and now we don't even know what truth is. We don't know whatever. And that video that I made got totally destroyed in the comments. People abused me up and down all day long for daring to say that AI is manipulating us. I've been caught a couple of times, even on my channel, especially in the early days, reacting to videos. I later found out what AI deepfakes of African presidents speaking, saying stuff that doesn't exist. So this is another aspect to the whole minutia of manipulation and change that society is going to. We are not going to know what truth is anymore, to some extent, right? Like the level of manipulation that is possible when you have video and voice that is indistinguishable from reality is another highly dangerous wrinkle to all of this, aside from the whole jobs and everything. So that's my point there.
They tried to get you just now. They tried to pop you down, but we got it. So good morning, Godders. Karma, you still haven't found your way to the Discord. You're chilling in the audience. Find your way to Discord. I don't think we've heard your voice on stage before. Good morning, Godders.
Morning, everyone.
How are you?
Morning.
I'm good, man. But sorry, Stace, I don't think you realize the realms we're in right now, because there's so many optional AI models out there that will destroy almost everything you're saying in terms of visual productions and just general visuals. Anything you want done, there's better alternatives that's not available to the general market. There's like for Google, they've got a 2.5 Pro. There's Claude, there's Manus, there's Replit. There's so many advanced AI models out there that I can be a coder right now in the space of 5 minutes. Yes, I may not know the ins and outs of how to do coding, etc. But with Replit, you can literally create an app within minutes and seconds, and you can see what's wrong, and you can tell it in normal language, fix this, fix that. Now, those are the models that are available to your normal Joe blogs. What them man have? The intelligence agency, the CIAs, and all them other people in the background is different level. Anthropic, they have some of the sickest AI models going. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, Stacey, don't think that what you see is what's available. There's a lot more advanced things going on in the background, and I've embraced AI. And Brent will tell you, at the moment I'm doing a startup, EndoExo.
Come on.
And it's gonna embrace all the good qualities of being AI to empower each and every one of us. But equally, I understand when quantum computing arrives, things are gonna get even techier, and things that you think can't be done will be done just like that. You get what I'm saying? Big up Black Rob, big up everyone, Subi. Like, you've all said great points, and I don't think the general public are fully aware of the realms we're in right now. You get what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what I want to say. There's so much I can go into, like I keep saying, Brent, you know what I'm on anyway. But AI is a lot bigger than people think it is. They think it's some joke thing. I've got a friend who's gonna be operated on using you can say it's advanced technology, but it's AI. It's two things: the robotic side of it, like Black Robert Thing said, robotic side of it, and the intelligence side of it. Combined, that's where you can just go into a theater. Like they give you a time and a date, you go into a theater, and the robot will do the operation. Yes, there'll be an element of human involvement in terms of maybe checking you in, making sure you're in the appropriate clothing for you to walk into the booth. for the robot to perform whatever it needs to do. But doctors, their times are, are coming to an end as well. Like everyone's job's on the line. And I want to big up all the prompt engineers out there in this world, because that's the next level of understanding how all these things work. Like there's models out there. If you're a good prompt engineer, you can extract and extrapolate anything you want to build in this world that we live in, just by being a good prompt engineer and knowing how to use the words and contextualize it for the AI model to understand what you're saying.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it for now.
I don't think that's what I'm saying.
Oh, go Stacey, go.
Okay.
I agree with what you guys are saying in terms of the possibilities of AI. I'm not challenging that. I'm just saying that the commitment to saying that things are going to be made obsolete in place of AI is what I'm disagree, or at least at the scale you guys are saying it is what I disagree.
Right. So, Stace, can I say one thing? I used to be a manager at Sainsbury's, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I was a manager and I was hiring and firing people. Now, fast forward, within 2 years, I went from basically I was the executives were saying I need to have this and this such staff, first line staff, like, you know, when you come out to check you out kind of thing. I went from 20 checkouts to 5 colleagues that were on the checkout. All of it was replaced by automated checkouts with cameras, with everything assisted by AI. A lot of people don't think that's AI behind it, but it is.
Oh, I get that, and that makes perfect sense because
but that's real world applications, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, I'm not disagreeing with that. Remember, I said there are going to be jobs that are going to be made obsolete. I just don't think it's at the magnitude that people are saying it's going to be obsolete. I don't think we're going to have workforces go from say 100 to 2. I just don't see that. I think AI is not as autonomous as the narrative is building. Yes, it can do a lot. We can train it to do a lot of things that will require less and less and less human involvement. But I think that speaks more to how our human involvement is going to pivot than it's going to be made completely obsolete. The example of the Industrial Revolution, which I don't necessarily think is as comparable as we're making it seem, because again, like that was more machinery than it was the conscious. How have we been describing it? The human consciousness of AI. But I think that again, once we lost jobs in the area, new jobs were birthed out of those, where things were not needed. We didn't have, say, IT directors or all these different technology roles prior to the boom of, technology. Those things have, out of evolvement, new positions and new needs for humans were created. So while AI is going to assist us in doing a lot of things, may even overtake our need for humans to do things in areas that it can do autonomously, I think it's where humans are needed is going to shift. And that's what is just quite literally the definition of evolving.
All right, so we're in agreement then. There are going to be industries that are decimated, and the human beings that were used to basically run those industries will have to find other means of employment.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is just using grammar to say evolve. It's like
so we've been on the same page for long as well.
Wait, hold on. But hold on. Let me.
There's a theory. There's a theory that we're going to go from a job economy to a sort of post-economic economy.
SaaS.
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to understand. This is the question I wanted to ask. So we've got a significant amount of wealthy people in the world as it stands today. Are you telling me these people are going to let all their wealth go and there's only going to be a handful of people that actually have money? But this doesn't make sense to me. The way you lot are talking is just like, there's not going to be enough jobs. There's not going to be. I mean, I understand that at a basic level that yes, the lower class, lower income, there's going to be certain jobs they just can't do no more because those basic jobs are not available. But to tell me that all these wealthy people as well are going to lose all their wealth and just become, we've got universal basic income for majority of the people. It just doesn't sound. It doesn't sound right.
I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen. I'm just trying to give you the ideas of what will happen at the point where, for example, I don't know how many millions of people in the US. It's like, I don't know, 20 million, 50 million people that work in the US around driving. So when driverless cars decimate that industry, what are all those people going to do? And what happens if that happens in a 2-year span? How do those people have the time, the ability to learn a new skill, figure out a new way to earn income, a new industry? And let's say they all wanted to now become accountants. Well, the same thing is now happening in accountancy. The same thing is now happening. So there is this fear that there will be this moment where it's like the way we think about economy, where we do the work, it may have to change drastically. And so these are some of the ideas being put forward into solution. Sam Altman, who's the head of OpenAI, he is pushing for universal basic income, where every single person gets a dividend from the government based off AI output. These are not like perfect solutions. We don't know what the solution, but something has to be done about it, because it's clearly going to be a huge issue. So it's my 2 cents again.
Can someone please answer what particular, and this is not a question for me, but I saw it in the chat and I'm curious. When you say decimated, what industries do you have? The first maybe 5 top of mind, because I think that context would help a lot of people understand your argument and maybe aid in the whole y'all are being dramatic thing. And again,
I think
my stance has been consistent.
80 million people. I think 80 million people in America are, someone can fact check this, I can't remember the number, but 80 million people's job is directly related to driving. So truck driving, cab driving, I can't remember, I don't know what all the situation is, but a huge percentage is directly connected to driving. So when AI driverless, which is on the verge of existing right now, already, there's already trucks that are driverless, cabs are being rolled out. I think this month in Los Angeles, you can just get a driverless cab.
Waymo.
So when the whole country, and by the way, every accident per 1,000 miles, so every human causes an accident per 1,000 miles to some number statistically right now. So every 1,000 miles driven by a human, a car driven, an incident is caused to some percentage. Waymo and Tesla are already 5 times less likely statistically to have an accident every 1,000 miles. So then in a few years, maybe a year, it will be 10 times less, and then 100 times less. So then it will become morally unacceptable for anyone to drive.
Yeah, but isn't that
you save lives?
I hear that argument, but the argument is still flawed, because even right now, when they do have an accident, the accidents are significantly worse. So where you're saying 1,000 miles of accident, I get it. Some of them are going to be very minor, there's rear bumper accidents and whatnot. But when the Tesla sets on fire and locks the person in the car, it's a significantly more dangerous and worse accident. Although
so how many fires are caused? How many? You're not factoring in how many current accidents happen versus the number of times that happens in a Tesla. It's infinitesimally, sorry for the bad English, less. But it's just a big story because it's a Tesla. But there's guys dying in a fire right now that we don't know about somewhere on a highway by a human. So right now, someone's dying. So my point is that Stacey asked about jobs. When 80 million people in a country, industries. When 80 million people, when an industry which carries 80 million people in the United States no longer needs 80 million people, what will happen? That's one industry. We talked about medical. That's another industry. What about schools? There's already AI schools happening now. How many school teachers are there in the US?
But see, now you're making my point for me, because when you guys say, and this is what I mean by y'all being dramatic, I'm not questioning what you guys are saying sometimes, but drama is being applied here. When you say an industry is decimated, it is almost on the brink of not existing. So when you say the medical industry is going to be decimated, that's not true. Like certain roles,
the medical industry will continue. The medical industry will continue, but it will not need count how many nurses there are in the UK.
I mean, I'm not from there, so I wouldn't know.
The people in the UK don't even know of it. We will have to use chat for that.
I think his mic is gone.
Your friend,
yeah. Go ahead.
The gentleman that just spoke a minute ago just said a real life use case. We used to hire 20 people, now we hire 5. So now 15 people have to find something else to do. So what happens when that's just what would that be? 3/4. So imagine in the whole of UK, 3/4 of the working population have to find something else to do.
Wait a minute.
What does that mean for society?
Can we isolate to what the point that I'm making about being dramatic? I understand all of those things. Those are all factors of evolving industries. I'm saying when you say industries will be decimated, the medical industry is not decimated. Roles in the medical industry will be downsized drastically, but that doesn't decimate the entire industry.
We're not,
which is why I'm saying
we're not arguing whether the medical industry will exist or not. We're saying what are the people that are no longer needed will do.
But that's the point that I'm making. I'm just trying to clarify my argument when I specifically have been and continue to be calling. I'm not grouping you in this per se, but I'm generalizing here. People with this argument of, I think it's dramatic.
Stacey, that's cheeky. Because Stacey, Stacey, we said it will be replaced by AI.
If 80% of the
don't be cheeky, Stacey. We haven't been saying that the doctors. Only thing we've been saying is that the doctors will need to come to work because those particular machines will be there doing it more efficiently.
Right.
That's what we've been saying.
But that's I've been saying that. But I'm clarifying where the part of drama is.
The human involvement. The human involvement. Stacey, come on.
Do you think it's a problem or not? Do you think it's a problem or not that 80% of an industry won't need the people? So what are those 80% people going to do? What are they going to do? Give us your answer.
Will it be an issue for people who need jobs? Yes, but in the grand scheme of things, shit evolves. People have to pivot. The rate that it's happening is going to be exponentially greater than anything that we've seen before. I'm not contesting that. I'm just saying when we say things like industries will be decimated, that is incorrect. They are going to evolve faster than they were before because it's technology. It's going to evolve at a natural rate. I recognize that, but it's not decimating the entire industry. It is drastically downsizing the amount of roles available.
Give us a specific scenario where a doctor that's trained for 7 years is no longer needed. What should that doctor do?
Sorry, repeat the question.
There's a doctor. He's gone to university. He's done 7 years university. He's got $250,000 worth of university debt. 5 years into his industry, there's no more jobs for him. What should that guy do?
He's gonna have to pivot. What are we talking about?
Okay, now he's pivoting at the same time as 80% of the doctors in his industry. So what do 80% of people do? And tell me why. You're gonna have to tell me why that is not a problem.
Pivot.
You're not answering my question.
There's going to be a set of those that are going into retirement anyway. So,
like, what are we?
You know, there's still going to be a large number, regardless, but there's going to be a subset of those people that are close to retirement or need to retire. So, you know, your 80 is probably going to look more like 50 or less.
I'm not even getting into
a disaster still.
I'm not discrediting that. That is a lot of people that need jobs compared to the amount of jobs available. I'm not challenging that. I'm just saying, and I've been saying
you're accusing us of being inflammatory, and I'm asking you to deliver us the non-inflammatory solution. You're saying that we're being dramatic. And I'm saying, okay, if it's not even 80%, if it's 20% across millions of people is a huge problem for society. And that's in many industries. So you tell us why us pointing that out is being inflammatory. You tell us why.
I've already clarified what it was that I meant, and I don't think that me saying that you're being dramatic yields me having to give you a counter solution, because what I'm saying is dramatic isn't me saying that what you're the problem that you're identifying is incorrect. I'm not saying that the problem is incorrect. I'm just saying the way that it's being framed.
What we're saying is correct then.
No. What? Can we please try to understand where I'm coming from? I may not have the perfect words, but I've been very consistent in what I've been saying this entire time. I've said the possibilities of technology is endless. I'm not challenging that, and I'm not saying that from 5 months from now or 5 years from now we could be looking at a completely different beast. I recognize that. But in terms of how it is, the narrative that is being painted about AI and the threat to complete industries, to me, is dramatic. The medical industry will not be.
I think they've covered that. They said that it's not industries. They're saying that it's job roles. So
right, and I've said that. And people keep saying that I'm changing my narrative or I'm going into semantics. No, I've been pretty consistent in saying I think roles will be drastically downsized. And to your point, yes, that is going to create a problem in the job market. But I think that when there are booms like technology that change things at the rate in which they do, the natural progression of evolving is expedited. And now we're just faced with our current version of that. It happened in the Industrial Revolution. Things pivoted. People have to pivot. And there are some areas where more people than not have to pivot. I'm not challenging that.
All right.
And is there a problem with it? Yes. But like everything else, you're gonna have to find. What are you gonna do? Just be unemployed and say, "Oh, we don't need AI"? No, AI is going to be here whether we like it or not.
All right, so we're in agreement. It's inevitable, and a lot of people are going to have to find different things to make money. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool, lovely. Thank you very much, everybody, for contributing to this topic. That wasn't a topic. Thank you, Subi. That was fantastic. Thank you, Johannes. Thank you, Stacey. Thank you, Goddess, and thank you, Black Rob. Subi, stay here for a while. I'm going to ask Gina a few questions. She's been patiently waiting here playing, what is it? Speedazzled?
No.
What you played?
Match.
So I'm gonna just get her to answer a few questions for 10 minutes, and then we will wrap up and then be about our business. So thank you very much for the conversation. You guys are amazing, and we will come back to this because this is going nowhere, and it's only gonna be in the news more and more as we progress. So thank you, and back to the normal programming. All right. I want to explore the world, but with new eyes. First question that Iman has provided. What would you change if you could do those trips again?
What trips? Just any trips that I've done?
Mm. He hasn't provided any video.
Nothing. I think I would appreciate... Luckily, it's fine over there.
All right, go.
The mic. Look at that.
Well
I think I'd appreciate my time away a bit more. I think I would also allow myself. Do you know what I realised? I'm a ants in my pants kind of human. Yeah, don't like being still. Stillness isn't bad though, but
can you be still?
That's the thing. That is the thing. But I feel like it's something that I should be a bit more intentional about.
I think so too.
So I think I would look to practice a bit more stillness, being away.
Forced to wrestle with your thoughts.
Yeah, with that jazz.
What didn't you do that you wish you had?
Is this in life in general or in relation
I think this has just got to do with exploring the world. And that's why Subi's here, to because he's an explorer. He's an official passport bro. You know that?
No.
Do you know who Subi is?
No.
He came on as a guest. Fantastic human being. But he's a legit registered passport bro. So can you just let Subi, can you just introduce yourself to Gina and just let her know why it is I'm not being salacious or inflammatory with my characterization of you?
Yes. Obviously passport bro brings up a connotation. I'd just like to say, since the show, I'm now engaged.
Come on!
Congrats!
Come on!
Married next year.
We're all invited to the wedding.
I found a partner I found a part. Yeah, of course. I found a partner in a different country. So if that makes me a passport bro,
Can I ask you a question?
then I'll carry it. But if
I'm quite nosy, so now I'm about to ask hella questions. So what country did you find your partner in?
It's okay.
No.
Uganda.
Where?
Uganda.
Okay. And are you getting married next year in Uganda?
My brother.
Ugandans unite.
Sorry, what was that, Subi?
Oh, he disappeared.
She said, are you getting married next year?
Are you getting married next year in Uganda?
I think there's nothing I could do to prevent whatever the ceremony that's going to happen next year in Uganda happening. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the UK side and my family and friends in the UK. So something will happen in Uganda, and we're going to try and make something happen.
You should sense a little politics, because there was a whole pause before. He was like, look, I can't do anything other than what's going to happen in Uganda.
So it sounds like it's happening regardless of if you like it or not.
Yeah.
But you know what, though?
Uganda is happening, yeah.
Yeah, that one. Because do you know why? I guess traditionally as well, isn't it usually, though, it's like the bride's side that kind of has the upper hand.
Can you let Gina know why it is that you basically went to Uganda amongst other nations looking for love?
So did you intentionally go to those places looking for love, or is Brent just being Brent?
He came on by the way.
I mean, it's not 100% I went looking for love, but during COVID, I was able to work remotely. So I went to I wasn't supposed to, but I carried myself to different countries while I was working remotely, and I knew that there was a chance that I would meet someone, and I was hoping to. But you know, if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. You know, but it was just a possibility. And I will say that I had my frustrations with the UK dating market. So
that's what
he was on the show. He basically said these UK girls. That's why I went abroad.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, to some level. I mean, I could have made it happen in the UK, but I just feel the kind of compromises that I would have experienced. You know, I switched UK compromises for Ugandan compromises, let's say.
Okay.
That's a great switch.
Happy for you.
That's a great switch. But anyway, so yes, he is a fellow traveler. You've traveled. I don't think you've traveled as much as him. And you travel for different purposes. Obviously. You're not passport sis.
No.
You love the men here, innit?
Do you know what it is? I guess the reason why I've never considered traveling for love, or like you know how there's some people who be like, you know what, I'm not having luck here. My partner's not in this country. Let me just whatever. Is because I guess I've never, and it's not to say that I wouldn't live abroad, because I would. Like if I'm thinking about even now, like my current, I guess like wish is to work abroad for a couple of months. Like that's kind of like what I'm praying about. I want to get headhunted and just, yeah. But I guess when I think about like children, like all of that stuff, I've never considered raising kids outside of the UK or all of that. So I guess because my mind's never gone there, I haven't considered the possibility. And
this is what Subi was basically saying, that we kind of limit ourselves. Just looking at our environment. There's a whole world out there, and
yeah, you're right.
Exploring and being labeled a passport bro. Sometimes it's.
Can I touch on the kids thing? Me and all my friends, right? We grew up in and around London, and all of us were exposed to drugs. And many of my friends partaked in one level or another, all the way from minor to serious levels in the drug industry. Let's say that.
That's something that
if
AI can't basically decimate it.
I've raised my child in Uganda. I think the exposure to drugs be basically zero. There's not a drug problem here, and the likelihood that they will grow up to become a drug dealer or be influenced by anything to do with that doesn't exist here. Now, I'm not saying that means that you should just raise your kids over here, but these are some of the perspectives that I started realizing. There are benefits that you weigh up. Here, I'm like, oh, that's a huge benefit, because I came from a good 2-parent home. You know, we had our struggles, but we weren't really suffering. Yet I found myself mixed in and out and dabbling with things I shouldn't have been involved in because of the environment around me, because of the culture around me. So now you ask yourself the question, where could you be the best environment for your child? You know about private school kids getting on drugs in the UK, and like all of, like, you know, the UK, or have you considered some of the other environments? And I never did that until I traveled. Like, oh, like this is the culture here. The culture is actually to be serious about school, to be like you're the cool kid when you get grades. In my school, that meant nothing for your credibility in school, and it fosters a different mentality. So that's my 2 cents about that.
I hear you.
Somebody said in the chat that they may not become a drug dealer, but they might become a drunkard.
Okay. Good observation. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I hear it. The thing is, I understand what you're saying, innit? It's about pros and cons. And it's not to say that you living in another country, you're not going to have another like devil to deal with, but it's just about you figuring out which devil you're willing to dance with. Do you get what I mean? So yeah. I fully get it.
And that's key, that you if you think you're going to leave the UK to solve your problems, that is not what happens. You're just going to discover a new set of problems. But, you know, it's like which problems you have more autonomy on which problems you choose if you're, you know, here or there, whatever.
Yeah, I get you.
Amazing. Stay there. Don't you go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
How would you bring or leave behind, or who would you bring or leave behind next time you travel? Have any of your man them come out to see you yet, Subi?
Yeah.
And they've enjoyed Uganda?
My brother-in-law did yeah. My brother-in-law and 3 or 4 of my friends have been out. My sister's planning on coming next year, or the late end of this year. Yeah, like it's the saddest part of being out here is missing my friends and family and not having, like, the conversation I'm having now. I don't have to repeat myself 3 times so understood because my English is of a different type to the English that's spoken here, or, you know, like sarcasm is not understood very well here, or, you know, turns of phrases. So like, I'm demanding you, and what we would say, you owe me. So like demanding feels aggressive to me when someone's like, I'm demanding you, right? So like so you have opportunities throughout the day just with you have opportunities throughout the day because of your cultural perspective to be, to get into these kind of difficult communicative situations. And so, like, when I speak to my friends, when I speak to my family, I don't have to wear that veil, and I can just speak freely. I can't tell you how much I underestimated, that kind of freedom in communication. Here, kind of communication, although it's in English, can still run into many struggles. So these are the things I miss, most of all.
I always find us hearing about your wealth of experience so fascinating, Zubi, and you speak so well too. I'm glad that you found a fantastic Ugandan woman to make you an honest man. That's good, man. I hope it doesn't take away the time in which it is that you spend with us. It should increase it, seeing as you're going to be
I always need to chime in,
looked after.
I do get busy.
Sweeted. Yes. So anyway, let me continue. Did you answer the question? Who would you take with you next time?
I mainly travel with Donna, to be honest.
Is that going to change anytime soon?
Works. What, traveling with Donna?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Can I ask Gina a question?
Of course you can.
am I right in assuming that you're single?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you think your prospects are greater in the UK or in
one
another
Why are you shaking
country?
your head?
Do you want to get into this?
No.
All right. Ask the question again. She wasn't listening.
I was listening. Do I think my prospects are better in the UK or abroad? That was the question, right?
Yes.
See, I'm a woman. I can multitask.
Yeah,
Brent.
evidently.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it ain't working out here, so maybe it is worth going across the pond and considering. Yeah. Do you know what? I think one of the main reasons why I've not is because I'm quite clingy. Like if I like you, I'm into you. Do you get what I mean? Like I want to spend time with you. If I could be under your armpit, I'd be under your armpit. That kind of vibe. So if my partner's across the world, yeah, I don't know if I'd handle it well. So I think that's also another reason why like I haven't considered dating someone that doesn't live in the same country as me. But that could change. I'm open to it. Now, more now than before.
Yeah, I mean, you at some point they either have to come to you or you'd have to go to him.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, like the luxury of being able to see, like, if I want to see my partner, being able to just get up and go and see my partner, or do you know what I mean? Like having to get on a plane and all of that is not the same. You know how sometimes you can be quite impulsive and it's like, oh, you know what? Let's just, you don't really have that when they live on the other side of the world to you. So, yeah.
All right.
So I asked that question for a reason.
Yeah, I thought that was following.
Hmm?
I want to know why.
I think that there is a completely different dynamic with a man going abroad to find love than a woman.
All right, here we are. So why? What's the difference? Zubi? Zubi? Zubi. Where are you?
You're dumb.
You got some stuff to say now. Where are you? Zubi do. Zubi, we're not hearing you.
No, Chrissy, you're right. Croydon is a long distance relationship to me. That's what I mean. Like, if my partner lived in Croydon,
hello?
Hello, Zubi.
Could think it'd be worse.
Do you want to? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes. No, we can.
Okay, sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
I was saying I wouldn't recommend a woman to come to Uganda, a man, for example. It's completely different. Let's just say, I want to be careful with how I put this, but there is a level of
Oh, have I gone again?
Yeah, you've gone again.
Gone again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Sorry about this. I don't know what's going on. There's so most of the women that I've encountered here, even my girlfriend or her extended friends, have experienced a domestic violence level of.
Oh, Nene's getting to the good part.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I was going to say the same thing,
Hello?
but right after saying domestic violence
It was bad.
wild for me to say it. You understand?
Fair enough.
But you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. Hello, Zubi.
Hello? Sorry, I don't know, man. The technicals are crazy over here right now.
That's all right.
But yeah, I know several of my girls' friends that have experienced this type of situation, and it's not seen as so frowned upon as, say, in the UK. And there's just some things that UK women would behave like here that I would not recommend to do to a Ugandan man. If that makes my point as close without me saying as far as I want to say.
Okay, so You're. So basically, are you saying like your partner's friends and stuff, like they've experienced DV in their relationships and it's seen as the norm?
It's seen as more of a norm than the UK standard.
Okay, I hear it. I'm not surprised because I do think back home, I'm not even just Uganda, but I think back home, like that is, it's a thing, but do you get what I mean? And it's not a good thing, but I think they're a lot more tolerant to that kind of behaviour. Same with cheating. I think in the UK, we make a bigger song and dance about infidelity than they do back home.
Infidelity is standard procedure here, even understood or accepted.
Yeah.
When you say infidelity is understood, what do you mean?
So there's a girl that's, let's say, 18. She's probably going to have 2 or 3 married boyfriends. And all of them will give her some type of financial remuneration. And then by the time she gets married and has a husband, she will accept that when she's 40, 50, her husband will also have an 18-year-old girlfriend that he gives financial help to. And the cycle continues.
Question. What do you think about that practice?
Each to their own. And before you judge it, I would just like to take a look at divorce rates and some other things. Some people are going to have a hard line on it. I understand.
That's not where I was going with my questioning.
Oh, what do you mean?
So no, not where I was going with my questioning. I'm not going to start judging at all. You've moved to Uganda, right? And you're about to get married. You're gonna now be part of that particular group of men who can have 18-year-old girls, and your wife accept it, right?
I mean, my partner doesn't want to participate in that particular part of society, but I would say we would be in a minority.
Oh, do you all squabble about that?
No, we don't squabble about it.
So it's not like a deal breaker. It's a
Brent, what are you digging for, my friend?
Uganda sounding nice to a lot of men. Uganda sounding nice, and
accept it. Some don't.
I started by saying that you you were part of the Passport Bro union, right? And to be honest, you're making it sound even nicer for men to basically go on the continent and enjoy life a bit more than they would enjoy in the UK. You're saying it's accepted over there.
Like I said,
it's expected over there.
I've had to completely reinvent how I make money and survive economically, which thank goodness I'm able to do. Many people come and they don't. They fail. So that's one component of it. But if you're able to do that, then there are many benefits. The cost of living is really down here. The access to community, the access to pure organic food that hasn't been tampered with, the access to kind of values that I appreciate, where family values and things like that. The lack of sort of high pressure rat race and keeping up with the Joneses, those elements are taken away a little bit here. So these are all pros and cons. My point is that it's just not good for a woman, and
it's going to be highly favorable for men that have the capability to find economic value, maybe online or whatever. I mean, the market here is crazy. To get into business here is crazy. If you're able to survive economically, as a person from the UK, you will be a top tier man here in the eyes of the dating market. Whereas a woman is not going to have those same benefits in the eyes of the men here. And I think that is probably the case Africa-wide. It's probably the case in many countries where you would have the same cost of living benefit, which might be a motivator for leaving the UK.
Amazing. So I can understand why women wouldn't find it as wavy as men to go to Uganda, because they'll be going there to join a system, a value of living that is going to be oppressive in their eyes because of where they're coming from.
Basically.
I was talking to Subi, but never mind.
Okay,
all right, move on to the next question. What's the one photo or video you're glad you've captured? That's the first thing that comes to your mind.
I don't know.
You got so much?
Yeah.
So definitely isn't one standout then.
No, but one video that I do really like and appreciate is that there's a video that me and Dana did on the beach, riding horses. But it's a really nice video.
Has it come to light as in the public?
Yeah, I posted it.
All right, okay. How was it shot?
We actually got someone to shoot it.
From what angle?
Different angles. It's a nice video, very nice video.
Yeah, send that to me.
Okay.
What's so nice about it?
Do you know what? I think also, yeah, when I look at that video, I remember where I was mentally at the time. So, yeah.
Riding horses. What's something you left behind or lost that you'd want to get back?
Nothing.
All right, no regrets. Have you got any regrets, Subi? What do you miss?
No regrets, but I do miss contact with friends and family. It's the hardest, like, I would like to be there on a Mother's Day or like a sister's birthday and things like that. Right now, my friends are planning a driving road trip across the UK. I won't be able to participate in that. I would like to do that, but I can't.
I hear you. What did you learn about yourself on those trips that you've been on?
I need to practice stillness.
Explain that a little bit, please.
Yeah.
Open up a bit more.
I don't like stillness. We know why. So I think it's something that it's like you can just continue to say, yeah, I don't like it and avoid it. But at some point, you want to be able to manage it better. So just face it head on or just try and get to a place where you can cope with it instead of running away like a little pussy.
How about you, Subi? What have you learned about yourself? Hello? What have you learned about yourself?
Yeah.
Having gone to
things
Uganda?
and perspectives that I thought were cast iron are more malleable based on the perspective here. So a very clear example of this might be the concept of democracy itself. Before I moved to Uganda, I would have said democracy is paramount in a society for society to function. I no longer hold that so strongly. I think a benevolent leader is more effective than a bureaucratic democracy. But I think a bureaucratic democracy wins the time with multiple regime change. Because if you have a strong man in charge and he is not benevolent, he can destroy a country quicker than than you say, Jiminy Cricket. So I didn't have that capability. I didn't have that perspective until I came to Africa and realized, like, you know, there's quite a few things that maybe I have a new perspective on because the norms and the things I've encountered here have kind of evolved my opinion, and understanding that there is a level of bubble that I lived in growing up in the UK, and the UK is not the center of the universe. There's many other perspectives and many other viewpoints and many other, things that actually affect your thinking, and I'm so happy I experienced that.
To your first point, thank you so much so far. To your first point, you said a salient statement. A benevolent leader is better than the pangs or throes of
Bureaucratic democracy.
Bureaucratic democracy. All right, cool. So essentially, I wanna ask a different question, right? Are the women over there miserable with their lot in life? Because the Western women would hear what you're saying about what they've accepted over there, and it sounds as though you might be saying that that's not just the way of life, it's what they choose also, because the divorce rates aren't as high as it is over here. So my question
this is where we get into perspectives again.
Go on.
Because it is already predetermined in the framing that when your husband cheats, that's a bad thing. But what if your perspective was that is just a natural thing? And that's what your society understands it to be natural. Therefore, there's no morality, negative way around that concept. So everyone is over there in the UK thinking, oh, these poor Ugandan women having to put up with cheating. But their perspective doesn't frame it in that way in the first place. So, the Spartans used to throw deformed babies off a cliff because that was the social norm of the time. We would consider that barbaric now. But if you grew up in that society, your framework would be totally different. So the framing of this thing, you just got to be careful when you're like, oh, the women are so oppressed over there and depressed. You have no concept of their framing of the situation. Some of them call it outsourcing. They're happy to outsource their husbands to a younger girl that can give their husband some relief and some enjoyment that perhaps they can't.
This is why I love you, man. We're here. It took a while, but we're here. We are here. What what? Do you envy Ugandan women?
No, please.
But he has a point.
The thing is,
if you were born in Uganda, you would see things differently.
I understand.
In fact, if you traveled to the UK from Uganda, you'd be like, oh.
The thing is, like I said, I
what are these standards you set for yourself?
I understand.
What is this new?
But if it's what you're exposed to, innit? Do you know what I mean?
If I were to tell you that you would have eternal peace and stillness if you adopted that particular life, would you choose that? As in,
I don't think I can.
Because you're conditioned to not want peace and
maybe
stillness.
That's what you want to call it.
But this is the question posed to you.
That's not how. It's not because I don't want peace and stillness. It's just morally, I think it's wrong, and it's something that I'm extremely passionate about. So I can't imagine myself coming to that place of accepting it and it being okay. I don't think I can. Never say never, but me being who I am right now, no, as in like me right now, Gina, just Jean, like at this age in this current climate, like in the past, the same thing. Like I can't imagine it being something in the future. But if God forbid one random day it happens, it means the world's coming to an end.
I don't know about that. Because Zubi was saying that his perspective has changed and the things he thought that he would never.
Do you want me to tell you why I don't think?
You never knew that you'd be walking with a lion.
No,
you
but
never knew you'd be
can I
riding
land?
horseback
Let me land,
in
please.
skimpy gear with your best friend on a beach.
Man said skimpy gay. You know?
I'm just assuming that if you're on a beach.
Yeah, I was in a bikini. But my point is, the reason why remember I was there for however long. I went to Ghana.
Was it the first time you read the hood? Was that the first time?
I think so, yeah.
That must have been an experience for you.
Yeah. Anyway, I remember I was in Ghana for like 6 months.
Yes, I remember.
And I experienced.
I remember.
And so I experienced, like, I was dating there was someone there that I was dating. And I experienced, like.
You've never done this before.
What, spoke about it?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. But I've experienced, like, do you know what I mean? I experienced dating someone from there who, and it was interesting because this is a person who isn't even wasn't born and raised. They're a UK person who went over there, has been there for years. So I guess they've also become like their environment.
Yep.
Not for me. It wasn't for me. So that's why I'm saying I don't think I can see that ever being something that I accept or be like, yeah, this is cool.
Zubi do. Where are you?
Brent, you sound more crestfallen than I do.
Sorry, what does crestfallen mean?
Like, you sound down that Gina won't accept this.
Because she said she wants stillness and peace, and I said if that came with you changing your outlook in what relationships can look like, the dynamics of relationships, would she choose it? She said no, she doesn't want peace and happiness. So when you realize that you just can't help anybody anymore.
Yeah, don't save her.
And it's been years.
Don't save her.
Don't save her. So
he said it's been years, you know.
So
don't try and save me. Don't make me your project or like your problem to solve. I tell people all the time, don't waste your time.
You've told me you're extremely self-aware and you know exactly what you are lacking. You're exactly what it is that you need, and every single day you intentfully choose not to choose it. So why am I wasting time?
Why are you wasting your time?
Well, I would never do that.
Yeah,
that's not where my crestfallenness comes from.
Can I give another example maybe?
Yes, Mr. Passport Bro.
The N-word.
Yes, we don't say it on this platform anymore.
Okay, so the N-word is highly inflammatory, right? Like
yes.
If someone was to call me the N-word in the UK, many people would say I would be within my rights to start swinging. And I don't think anyone would challenge me here morally if I did so. Would you accept that?
I've never been to Uganda, but are you saying they use the N, as in white people call you an N word all the time?
Yes.
Oh, serious?
If I'm in the UK and a white person, no, let's start again. I'm painting a scenario.
Yes.
If I'm in the UK and a white person was to call me the N-word,
yes,
I don't think many people would say that I was morally wrong if I was to retaliate, even in a violent manner.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I would.
Okay. When my dad, who's Nigerian, it took me to play football when I was like 7 years old in a new neighborhood in the UK that was all white. We go to the park, and when we're in the park, we start trying to play football with these local guys. And they start abusing me and my dad racially. They're calling us the N-word, they're doing the monkey signs, they're trying to talk to my dad in a fake African language, like this, right? And my dad laughed. And then he said, now we know each other, can we play football? We played football, and the long story short is we had to live in that neighborhood, and all of those white boys over time ended up becoming my friends.
Interesting.
I went home that day and I said to my dad, they treated us like, I don't want to cuss. They treated us badly. They abused us. They even used the N-word. And my dad said, if you let the N word be a button that they can press, they will press it. Or the N, it doesn't affect me, and it means that they cannot have any angle to attack me. Because if I say the N word is an oppressive word, they now can have a target and a button to press that push me square anytime. And so
Zubi?
you can choose to take offense or not. Hello.
Zubi?
Hello?
Are you speaking?
I am.
I don't know if you can hear.
I am.
Oh, give me 1 second, Zubi. Pause for a second. I'm just going to do something over here so I can hear you again. All right, we're back. Zubi, can you hear?
Hello?
Hello. My bad. Sorry. Can you hear me?
No problem.
All right, cool.
I can.
We left off with you basically saying all the white boys that basically called you and your father monkeys and this, that, and the next. You basically sought out friendship, and now they're gonna be at your wedding.
Yes, but I challenged my dad when we got home. And I said, they called us the N-word, they abused us. Like, why did you take it? And he said that if you choose, the N-word can be a button that is a signal for all white people. If they want to push it, they can. You've revealed your heart. You've revealed the place that damages you by having this word that if they press it, it pushes you off your square. So why give them that power? I don't accept that word as an offense, and therefore they can't press it to hurt me. And he gave me this explanation of when he first came to the UK, and he had someone spray paint the N-word on his door at university. And he was like, when I get top grades, A star, top of the class, and graduate with, top of the class, they're going to have to accept that N-word outdid them. So this is a mentality and a friendship. Perhaps the idea that if someone calls me this, I'm going to flip out. Well, this is another framing of it, which I believe is actually more powerful. I know many people don't agree with me on that, but that's how I perceive that moving forward, because that's the lesson I was taught.
Amazing. Question: how about if you're called a nonce? And that's spray painted over
why would that bother me?
Spray painted over your door.
I mean, again, it's for you to choose how you respond. You have the power. Like if someone calls Brent a white person, why should that affect you? Because you're not white. I'm not a nonce. Why would it affect me if someone calls me a nonce? I mean, obviously there would be a concern maybe if the community now think I'm a nonce or whatever, but that could be a touchy situation because of that spray paint. But usually the things that bother me the most are the things that are true about me that are dark.
Okay. So once it's not true, you can run any sort of insult my way, right? Any sort of characterization on my person, you run it. But just as long as it's not true, I shouldn't be affected by it. I shouldn't look to stop them from seeing it, right?
Well, I think we have to talk about outcomes because it's not right to just make a polarizing A or B outcome from, oh, if it's not true, then it's okay. Like, that's not the right way to think about things, Brent. You should think about things, first of all, based off the individual situation. That should play into factor. But my point is that you can be in many situations where, for example, if someone called me the N-word and I get into a fight and I end up going to jail for 2 years, right? Is that a positive outcome for me? It's not a positive outcome for me, but at least I'm right. Because he called me the N-word, right? At least all my guys will say I did the right thing. Yeah, so like pick your poison. If I don't want to be pushed off my square, I'm talking about the ability not to allow my emotional state to be damaged because an idiot who's not on my level, who can't think like me, who can't perform like me, wants to use a word, a noise from his larynx.
All right, so I fully understand. I fully understand what you're saying. I also understand the example that you relate to us with your father and football and this, that, and next. Cool. I don't think that you preventing or instructing a white person, whether they're a colleague, friend, or just a stranger, not to call you that, is you being pushed off your square, as you say it, or you looking to basically, quote unquote, crash out?
Yeah, we don't want to be in a situation where we lose our cool as much as possible.
Precisely. So I'm saying you can keep your cool and still prevent them from saying it to you again. Surely, when your child is born or your children are born, are you going to also allow white people to continue calling you this N-word? Because regardless of whether it is that you keep your cool or not, it's not going to set a standard.
Okay, so let's talk this analogy through in the real situation that we talked about. I lived in that neighborhood with those white people that had just called me the N-word, right? So you're now wondering, is my dad's strategy, is my philosophy such that they can continue to call me the N-word and therefore the abuse doesn't stop?
It's like Yeah. So it's if they characterize you as something, you befriending them doesn't mean they change it doesn't essentially mean they change their mind about how they characterize you.
Yeah, but I have to live in that neighborhood.
All right, so I believe it was like a coping mechanism, right? You still had to live there, so let there just be compliance. I'm not judging your father for doing it, mind you.
It's not a coping mechanism. It's not a coping mechanism. It's a strategy for success. So I have to interact with those people. The outcome that I want is that I don't want them to be racist. That's the outcome I want. Right? So the one strategy is to beat the living daylights out of them at the point where they call me the N-word. That to me is not an effective communication education journey.
But what you said you did was you allowed it to happen and then you played football. There was no corrective action here. There was no educational.
You haven't let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
You haven't let me finish. So what happens is their interaction with us. First of all, there's no surface area for them to damage us. And then we play football with them, and my dad plays football, and before you know it, the racial barrier has been broken. And I score a goal, and all the guys on my team come and cheer, put their arm around me. I've now broken the barrier. They had interaction with a black person before. Now they do. We're not smelly. We're not rude. We're not all the misconceptions that they had back in the 90s of a black person. Actually, TJ Subi's all right. His dad's all right too. We've now changed the perception of all of those people in our vicinity by not lashing out. Now, like I said, a lot of people don't agree with this, but I befriended those people. I didn't do it I did it because their interaction with us forced them to have a new perspective of black people. They only had a preconceived, ignorant perspective of black people. So then we changed that narrative.
It sounds as though you just assimilated and you just accepted the racism.
In that case, that they would continue being racist towards me.
Well, as in just saying words, you mean? As not changing. Well, to be honest, you did say that they basically changed the way they saw you. So they didn't fear you or hate you anymore, apparently, because of the football game. And so much so that you basically made them your best friends. So maybe over the course of your relationship with them, they shared more with you that we don't know about, that you haven't shared, where they changed their perception of black people because of that interaction with you all those years ago?
That's my point. My point is, I lived there for 5-6 years, and they had never encountered a black person before. It was a town outside of London. There was no black people there. So once you're there, and then you could call it assimilation if you like. You can frame it however you want. They now have a direct reference to what black people are like based off the black family that's just moved in. Right. So now, we are not the dumb knuckle dragging whatever narrative that they've got in their head. And now they have an opportunity to reevaluate that shit. So
do they still call you?
Some of them kept.
Do they still call you the N-word?
No, they all stopped doing that.
Why did they stop?
25 years ago.
Why did they stop?
30 years ago now. Well, how can you continue a relationship that doesn't have respect? These are kids I ended up going to school with. These are guys I went to extracurricular activities with.
Yeah.
Guys that would want me on their football team.
Yeah.
When they're picking at.
Yeah.
When we're playing down the park.
Yeah. So you do have a problem with white people calling you the N-word. You just have a different strategy to change their mind over time.
No, I don't really. I definitely have a problem with people calling you the N-word. I have a problem with us making that word so powerful that everyone knows that if I use it, I can create a crash out situation.
Yeah.
And so that is a point of vulnerability that we've now put, and we're not rather than rejecting it, we are proud of that in the black community. This is how to crash out. Call me the N-word. Like I'm giving you the keys to make me be so emotionally rational that I would risk it all.
So how come you're jumping to the extreme? How come you're basically saying when that word is said, then the black person just goes Hulk? That's not the case. And I was even telling you, I was suggesting before that you can still keep your cool and still not have them feel it's free reign to basically just run it.
I guess I'm just trying to speak to the power of that word.
Yeah.
It's a forbidden word. It's not that word is so forbidden we can't use it in this conversation online. Because we've given it that power.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's lots of different perspectives on this, and I'm sure African Americans would not align with this. Many of my African American friends in Uganda do not accept what I say when I'm telling them this. But I just can't think of a way. Like I can't think of a word that a black person can call a white person. Maybe pedophile, but that goes across any race. A word's race specific you can call a white person to make them crash out. But somehow there's one for black people.
All right, I take your point. Stay there. There's a asking for a friend. I just want you to respond to, and then you can basically be relieved and go and enjoy Olivia. All right, thank you. Stay there, Subi. Don't go nowhere. You have contributed fantastically to this day. Seeing as Emmanuel's not here, it's refreshing to have someone.
I've got about 15 minutes.
That's fine. It's going to take 5. You've been with us the entire time, so.
Are you gonna read it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it out.
Thank you.
All right, we have a dilemma, just for Gina and Subi. Zubi doo. All right. How do I adjust my beauty standards for more success? I've gotten like...
Is this a woman or a man?
I don't know.
Oh.
I've gotten like a general average feedback. All right, I've gotten like, I'm going to just drop the A, like general average feedback and being honest with myself. I'm thinking I'm shooting way out of my league. I don't really match the girls I go for looks wise, so I kind of have to adjust what I like, or I'm attracted to so I can find my wife. Is it a bad way to go about things? Is there a direct correlation with the less pretty a girl is, the more lenient her type is? Do I have to accept I might be single forever?
I don't think you have to accept that you're going to be single forever. There's someone out there for everyone. But it sounds like...
And there are people in Uganda.
Pardon?
And there are people who... There are girls in Uganda who don't mind you having options and stuff.
And is he... So are you basically saying that you're not your type's type?
Don't ask questions. I have no idea.
No, but that's what it sounded like.
But I definitely believe that it's the same person who keeps on sending in rubbish. Zubi, what do you think about this?
I think if men, and probably women, I don't know so much women, but I think if men could focus more on how you interact, communicate, and negotiate with a woman, and they would get further. Because if you focus on looks, which is definitely the trap that I put myself in, what you realize once you get in a committed relationship is that or the thing that excites you initially about looks is something that fades once you're in a relationship. So the thing that sustains it is actually all the other interactions. How you communicate is key.
Which I hear, yeah. I hear what you're saying. However, I think there has to be some sort of attraction there, though. Like, do you get what I mean? I appreciate everything you're saying, 100%. But I feel like if there's no initial attraction or like sexual chemistry or anything, like in terms of like any intimacy towards like how you feel about your partner, I don't think it's gonna last. And the reason why I say that is because like I've done it before where I overlooked someone's physical appearance, and I remember when things started to go really bad in the relationship, what made it worse for me was thinking, I don't even find you attractive. This is even pissing me off even more. Like, it made it 10 times worse. And I just thought, yeah, I'm not doing this again. So whilst I agree that you shouldn't place everything on looks, but let's cut the crap. When you first meet someone, the thing you don't go by what their heart is or who they are. Like, you're gonna go based on what you see in that. Like, do you know what I mean? Even a guy approaching a woman, if you find her physically attractive, that's when you're gonna approach her, not because you can see inside her heart. So,
yeah, I agree. So let me put it like this. I think many men have the same problem that many women have, but just in a slightly different way. So there was nothing less than a kind of 9, 10 out of 10 that would do for me. Now, in the same way, I think many women, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think many women think of the way men analyze looks in a woman, I think is analogous to the way women analyze the kind of social status and finances of the prospective man. So I think that it is more likely that the average man is kind of holding out for amazing beauty and doing a basic analysis and saying, look, average is fine, looks wise. I know you have to have a level of attraction, but it's unrealistic for me to think, I don't know, Zendaya is in my league, right? So if I'm on social media, it's optimized for me to look at all of these Zendaya level women. And I'm like saying, yeah, I've got to get my money up so I can get myself a Zendaya. I've got to get my money up. I think that's the trap many men in the UK and many men around the world are facing. They're like, if I can just get my money up, then I know I can get that. Because in converse, the pressure of the desire for a man of success and of means is so high. My point is, now I'm in a relationship and I've got a woman. Believe me, I find her attractive. The thrill of that attraction holds less weight in the relationship than all the other attributes I'm talking about. And if I'd focused on that, I probably would have had made my wife some of the relationships I had in the UK, but I was looking for something better. So I think a recalibration of that thing, like you of course you don't want to go out with a person that you're not attracted to, but are you assessing that standard? And I think from his messaging, he's probably trying to punch above his weight. And like, average is good, bro. Like, trust me. Once you're in a relationship, even if you get a 10 out of 10, that beauty will fade as a course of familiarity. You want to look at here and there, it doesn't end. So perhaps readjust, reduce that beauty standard. Find the basic things that you require, looks wise, and then make a decision based on the other criteria.
Fair.
Thank you very much for your wise thoughts, words, and your presence this morning, Zubi. Much appreciated. Gina, thank you very much for your patience whilst as we talked about AI, passport brewing, allowing white people to call us the N-word.
Yeah, that one's beyond me, but each to their own. Each to their own.
Oh, what a bundle of entertainment you are, Subi. More of the same, please, in the future. More of the same. Thank you. And have a blessed day.
Brent, I'm going to hit you on WhatsApp.
Yes, please do.
For something.
Cool.
All right,
later.
Bye.
All right, then. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this Monday morning. I apologize for the tardiness. And it's always nice to have you sat here pontificating on life and stillness and rejecting peace and happiness. Claiming that you're single and all sorts.
I fully am.
I believe you.
No.
I believe you.
Okay, because why say
Thou
claiming
dost
that I'm
protest
single?
too much. I believe you, man.
Wow.
I believe you, man.
I love that for you.
I believe you.
So you should.
I believe you. All right. See you all tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
All right.